The Harwich Mariners take their 5-game win streak across the bridge for the first time this season and have a battle with the Wareham Gatemen with a record of 5-1. And we're so glad to bring you all of the action right here on Cape League TV alongside Luke Brenneman. I'm Milo Hoffman here on First Responders Night at Spillane Field, an overcast day with partly sunny skies out to left field. And Luke, this Harwich Mariner team is coming in red hot, 5 straight wins, and most recently last night, a walk-off win.
They're the hottest team in the Cape. You could make the argument that after YD lost last night, they're the best team in the Cape. I think that'll be settled by tomorrow night. But these are the situations that'll really show you, A, how hot you are, and B, how disciplined you are. You win the most electric game of the summer for the M's at home in a Friday night game. Now you got to go across the bridge over an hour away, and you're kind of coming off that walk-off hangover. How can you reset, forget that happened, and then go beat a team who's really been struggling right now?
Yeah, and it's the first trip to Wareham for Harwich this season, and it's my first trip here to Wareham as well. It's a different feel over here. Across the bridge, you're not actually on the Cape, so it's a little bit of ways away from White House Field over in the mainland of Cape Cod. So we'll see how Harwich deals with that, and it's a pitching matchup between these two sides that should be very interesting. It's Jacob Schultz going for the Mariners, and Wade Walton is on the hill for Wareham. Walton does his college pitching at High Point, and this past season he made 15 starts with a 4.21 ERA, 77 innings of work, 78 strikeouts, and 40 walks. And it's Walton's second bit of action this season in the Cape League. He pitched on June 14th against Hyannis, went 3 innings, gave up 5 runs, 3 earned runs that is, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and a home run. And really the Gatemen are just trying to get hot somehow, some way, and they're running into a Mariners team that's going to make it really, really tough to do that.
Just about every single statistical category flipped between these two teams. The Mariners in the top 2 teams on the Cape, and just about every hitting statistic. Wareham kind of just owns that dead last spot. But Milo, it's just such a young summer where guys can come in or guys can wake up, and at the same time, guys can slump if you're playing really well. So you kind of just got to take it day by day, take it team by team, and not really say, oh, tonight can be an easier one than, say, maybe a matchup tomorrow night, because we know the talent that's here. It's spread out across just 10 teams, and they're going to bring it every single night. And playing on the road is always more difficult.
You always learn a little bit more when you play on the road, and the Mariners play the Gatemen tonight. Tomorrow, Harwich has a battle with YD, who is also 5-1 this season. So that is going to be quite the showdown here early on in the 2026 campaign between YD and Harwich. But today it's the Gatemen that the Mariners have to deal with, and we'll go through the starting lineup for the Mariners, 1 through 9. It's Julio Solier leading off. He's playing second base today, started at shortstop yesterday against Orleans. He's been flip-flopping back and forth in the middle of the infield with Ty Smolinski. J.P. Peltier, who had the walk-off single yesterday, is over at third base. Batting third is Ty Smolinski, playing shortstop today, like I mentioned. Cleanup batter is Quentin Coates, who's been getting hot as of late. Had 2 hits yesterday, the kid out of Cincinnati. Charlie Bussey, Division II Francis Marion, playing over in left field today. He's been hot at the plate, batting .313 this season. Ryan Garrity in right field, he bats behind Bussey, and rounding out the lineup, Sean O'Leary at first, bats 7th. Sean James getting his first bit of action with the Mariners this season. He's catching, and Micah Kirikoff is out in center field, back in the lineup. He pinch ran yesterday and scored the winning run for the Mariners against Orleans. And so that's the lineup that Coach Steve Engler puts out against the Gatemen. We'll have to deal with Wade Walton on the hill for Wareham. Like I said, his second bit of action so far this season in the Cape. He pitched against Hyannis on June 14th, so that's 6 days ago. Right on schedule with the starting rotation for the Gatemen, and they've been dealing with some injuries so far this season, just trying to find their identity early on.
Yeah, I don't really think the roster construction is the issue here, but it's the team playing together and building off one another's success, and there's kind of no other way to put it, Milo, than not many guys are having success right now, whether it's their pitching staff with an ERA above 5, which is ranked 9th out of 10 teams on the Cape. They are in the top third of teams committing errors on the Cape, so they're not really helping themselves out. And then we mentioned in the open that the hitting has just kind of been a lost cause these first 6 games. And there's still plenty of time to turn it around, and I think that for Wareham, there's a little bit more pressure on them, which can tighten guys up and make it more difficult to get that first hit of the summer. But at the same time, they've been struggling so bad that maybe tonight's just house money on Saturday night at home.
And it's a Saturday night here in Wareham, and we're just about to get started at Spillane Field. So glad you're joining us. Wade Walton on the hill. The tall righty bends down with the long white pants and the navy blue top. Solier digs in for the Mariners. First pitch. Breaking ball called to strike, and we're underway. First pitch at 6:03. Solier's been red hot for Harwich. .320 batting average, 5 RBIs. He's been plunked into that leadoff spot for the majority of these games. 0-1. That's down low, and the count is 1-1.
I think as of late, and Solier started off hot, Smolinski as well, hitting for power. It feels like everybody's contributing just about night in and night out on this streak now, Milo.
Yeah, Harwich Mariner hitting has been contagious. Pitch. That's inside just barely.
But kind of like what we mentioned with Wareham is there have to be those first week stars that kind of set the foundation and the standard of what your team needs to do. And I think Solier, his aggressiveness on the base pass kind of has been infectious. The Mariners lead the league in stolen bases.
2-1. Swung on, a ground ball left side through for a base hit. There it is. Solier starts the party for the Harwich Mariners. And the leadoff man is aboard. Boy, oh boy, he's been a hit machine. Like I said, the average .320 just keeps on skyrocketing. And that gives way for J.P. Peltier, the third baseman, who was the hero yesterday. Hit the walk-off RBI single to right field to give the Mariners their 5th straight win.
That was clutch, and it wasn't just a walk-off RBI. It was a 2-out walk-off RBI. Those are that much sweeter because for the opposition, they're an out away from a 50-50 chance going into extra innings of winning the game. And Peltier goes the other way last night, hit the ball hard to right center field, and it was enough to propel the M's 3-2.
Check back to Solier, who has 4 stolen bases over there at first base. Peltier hits .208 this season, a homer and 6 RBIs, which actually leads the team. He has a 3-run homer. First pitch to him. Swinging a line drive right field. That'll dunk in for a base hit. So back-to-back singles for the Mariners, and they're getting going early here at Spillane Field.
Something about this team right now, Milo, where the record can demand it, but their presence in the box is almost expecting a level of respect from the opposition. Solier got ahead in that count 2-1, laces the ball to the pole side. Peltier does something nearly identical to his walk-off last night, just doesn't do too much, gets one outside, kind of shoves it the other way to right field. And here you go, first and second, nobody out to kick things off for the Mariners' biggest power bat as of this summer.
Yeah, that's Ty Smolinski. Has 2 homers this season for the Mariners, leads the team. Walton comes set from the stretch. First pitch. Downstairs with the curveball, and the count is now 1-0 on Ty Smolinski. Walton features a fastball, changeup, slider, sinker, curveball, and a cutter. That's a 6-pitch mix from the High Point product. 1-0 on its way. Swinging a foul right back, just underneath that one.
Good crowd tonight here. Saturday night baseball on the Cape. Can't really expect anything else. A unique setup, kind of a football practice field. I see a goalpost, Milo.
Down the left field line. That's the first thing I noticed. I was confused. I had to confirm we were calling a baseball game tonight. 1-1. That's a strike on the outside corner with a breaking ball. The count's now 1-2 on Ty Smolinski. Just underway here at Spillane Field between the Mariners and the Gatemen. Still no score. Peltier leads off first and Solier off of second. Shortstop Lincoln Garcia is holding on Solier pretty closely. Pitch. Swung on, a little blooper, center field. Wax charges in, does not have a play. Solier gets the wave around third. The throw is not in time. Solier slides in safely. It's an RBI single for Ty Smolinski. And just like that, the Mariners are on top 1-0 here in the first.
Hit. Not a bad way to start the top of the first inning. Solier got a huge jump. He knew that ball was going to fall. Remember, it's not a 2-out situation, Milo, so Solier does have to be conscious of the center fielder Wax potentially making that play. However, he read the jam shot right off the bat. He was on the sprint the second he saw it down and eventually beats it out on a dive. It was a nice throw from Wax in center field.
Yeah, that throw had some oomph on it. Peltier advances to second on the play. Still no outs here, top one. Mariners on top 1-0. Here's the pitch. Swinging a hard hit ball deep to center field. Wax back on the track. He makes the grab. Peltier tags second to third. Smolinski goes from first to second safely. So heads up base running from the Mariners. It was a line drive deep to center field that looked like it might have had a chance but stayed in. Nevertheless, Harwich now has second and third with one out.
The ball was hit hard, Milo, but it wasn't hit deep enough for that necessarily to be a routine double tag from both Smolinski and Peltier. Peltier was going to get to third regardless, but Smolinski and his baseball IQ again proving to be a big impact for the M's on the bases where he knew that the center fielder Wax was going to throw the ball into third. It got cut off, but Smolinski takes second, now two more in scoring position.
Mariners have been running the base paths better than almost anyone this season on the Cape. Those 30 stolen bases are the top mark in the league. Here's the pitch to Charlie Bussey, swinging a little tapper foul down the third base line. And the count's 0-1 on Bussey. He comes in hitting .313 with 3 RBIs. Oh for 3 yesterday against Orleans. Walton stands tall on the mound, first base side, dangles out his right arm, and now comes set at the bell. Here's the pitch. Downstairs, gets by the catcher, Nicolai, and Peltier runs home easily. And that's 2 quick runs for the Mariners here in the top of the first, just 1 out, and Smolinski dashes over to third.
Mariners are just all on the same page right now. Granted, that was a gift of a wild pitch to score a run, but the focus, the dugout saying yes, yes, yes when the ball gets away, everybody's kind of locked in, all in on the mission. It almost feels like a playoff game, and that's how the energy can be when you've won 5 in a row. It's infectious night in and night out, already up 2-0, and I think Bussey's ready to do some more.
Now Bussey digs back in, counts 1-1. Slightly open stance in the ready box. Pitch. Check swing. He did not go, says first base umpire Sam Finn. And the count's now 2-1. Infield's in for the Gatemen here, trying to track down that run at third in Smolinski. 2-0 already. Mariners on top of the first. Here's Walton's pitch. Upstairs with the heat. Mariners in their all-blue uniforms with the red lettering across the chest. Bussey rocks the high socks. Ahead in the count, 3-1. Here's Walton's delivery. Breaking ball just tapped foul at the plate, and the count runs full.
Bussey's seen a lot of off-speed pitches this summer, and it kind of got to him early, and then he went on a streak where he had 5 singles in a row, 3 of them coming on infield hits. With the infield in right now, Milo, any chopper that could sneak past him will result in a hit that may typically not, just because of how far in they are on the infield grass with the runner at third.
Walton dangles out his arm once again. He gets the sign from Nicolai, the catcher. Here's the payoff pitch. Strike 3 called on the inside corner with the fastball. That clocked at 92 miles an hour. And now there's 2 gone in the top of the first.
That's a really good pitch from Walton. When you start the game with 3 consecutive base hits, and the last time you were out, you gave up 5 runs in the first inning, it's probably pretty easy to be up there doubting yourself, doubting throwing pitches over the plate to a team swinging like the Mariners right now. But he went after Bussey after falling behind 3-1 in that count and picks up a huge second out of this top of the first.
So here's Ryan Garrity. The lefty digs in pitch, swinging a tapper foul right here in front of us, down the first base line. Ryan Garrity hitting .133 this season, but a .409 on base percentage with 7 walks, which leads the team and is towards the top of the Cape Cod Baseball League this season. 0-1 on the Mariner right fielder. Here's the pitch. Upstairs. Counts 1-1.
Garrity kind of dancing all over the Mariners lineup so far this season. We've seen him lead off. We've seen him hit 9th. Now for the first time, he's hitting 6th. So moving him up a little bit, see if Steve Engler can boost his confidence in the hit tally would be a good spot here.
Pitch upstairs and wide. And the count's now 2-1. When you talk about that on-base percentage, it just goes to show you, even if the hits aren't falling, you can still make an impact for your team. He's been a consistent defensive presence as well, like you said, wherever they play him, almost like a super utility guy. He's Spent a lot of time in the outfield. Trying to do some damage here. 2-1. Called a strike on the outside corner, and the count's now 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone. Mariners on top, 2-0 over the Gatemen here in the top of the first. Harwich trying to make it 6 straight wins, that is. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Garrity goes down on strikes, but not before Harwich brings home 2 runs in the first frame. 3 hits, 2 runs, and 1 man left on base. We go to the home half right here on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. We go to the bottom of the first here at Spillane Field. A sunny Spillane Field now. Sun peering through the clouds alongside Luke Brenneman on Milo Hoffman. And the Mariners have a quick 2-0 lead after that top half of the first. RBI single from Ty Smolinski. J.P. Peltier came home on a wild pitch. And just like that, the Mariners are right where they left off after last night's walk-off single. Trying to make it 6 straight wins here against the Gatemen. It'll be Jacob Schultz on the hill for Harwich. Second appearance so far this season for the Mariners. Pitcher, a lefty, stands tall on the hill with the red socks and stirrups. Played a college ball at Vanderbilt this past season. 6'2", 219 pounds. He deals to Foster Apple, the leadoff man for the Gatemen. The right fielder digs in the righty box. Twirls the bat a few times. Now he comes set. So does Schultz. Here's the first pitch. Fastball called to strike on the inside corner. 0-1.
So the M strike first, Milo. You go up by 2, and now what you're looking for Schultz is throwing strikes. Had 4 walks in just an inning of action, or 2 innings of action, his first time out of the bullpen this summer.
Nothing
now
with
with a lead.
Upstairs. The count's now 1-1 on Apple, who comes in a .313 hitter with 2 RBIs. Yeah, you talk about those walks from Schultz. 4 walks against Hyannis in the Mariners' 3rd game of the season. He did pick up the win, though. Went 2 innings, just 1 earned run. Here's the offering. Fastball just inside, and the count's 2-1.
And the walks actually didn't really hurt him. 2 innings, 1 hit, 4 walks. There was a run. However, the runner scored on a wild pitch. So a hit didn't bring in anybody. And is that rain coming in?
Yeah, I feel some drops, but it's really sunny on the field right now. I mean, we're both squinting. 2-1. Fastball popped in the air right side of the infield. First baseman O'Leary drops back. And he made the catch for the first out. Our view kind of gets impeded by the Mariner dugout right here to our right. But O'Leary made the catch in foul territory for a quick first out here in the bottom of the first. Now there's rain coming down right now. It's a sun shower here over Spillane Field, because if you were to look at this field, you'd think it's 80 degrees and sunny. It is sunny, but it's not 80 degrees, and now there's some showers. Pitch. Upstairs. Oh, that looked like it hit Tony Lira, the Gateman DH. So it clipped his elbow, and so now a one-out runner aboard for Wareham. Yesterday, the Gatemen lost 4-1 to Hyannis. They've only scored 6 runs in their last 3 games, and they've been shut out twice this season. So the offense has been a real struggle for Wareham so far. Just 13 runs, which is the worst mark in the Cape League. There's the pitch to Levi Clark. Fastball cut on and missed. 0-1. Clark 0 for 9 so far this season, trying to pick up his first knock with the Gatemen. Does have 2 walks. Digs into the righty box. A slight crouch in his stance. 0-1. Fastball down low. That looked like a good pitch, and Sean James, the catcher, sort of applauded his pitcher Schultz on that one, but didn't get the call from home plate umpire Robert McHugh. So the count's now 1-1 on Clark. 2-0 Mariners on top. 1 out here, bottom 1. Lira leads off of first. Pitch. Downstairs in the dirt. Lira sort of in no man's land, but now retreats back to first base.
It'll be interesting to see how the new Harwich catcher Sean James out of Mississippi State performs tonight. That catching trio is awfully competitive right now. You have an all-freshman SEC guy in Grinlinger out of Tennessee. Now you throw in another SEC catcher with James. And Echeverria, he's been very defensively sound in Harwich for now 2 summers.
Pitch. Inside. The count's now 3-1 on Clark. Yeah, you talk about that catching battle. It's really, really competitive. And Connor Capisi was on the team to start the year, now not with the Mariners. So it's been a competitive battle behind the backstop. Pitch cut on and missed.
Not entirely sure when you're 0 for 9 and trailing by 2 in the first inning. Maybe reaching out for ball 4 there, but I think Clark's just searching. I credit Ryan Smythe, the manager for the Gatemen, moving him up in the lineup because this is a really solid right-handed hitter, just trying to get him going.
Pitch swung on, popped up behind the plate, and foul. It'll make its way past the bleachers and all of the fans behind us, and some kids are going to scramble after that one and try to receive it. That was sky high here, right into the sun. Count still full on Clark. Mariners on top 2-0. Gatemen, though, have a runner on first base and trying to fight back early. Payoff pitch. Swung on, a hard hit ground ball left side. It could be 2. Smolinski to second. There's one on to first. It's a double play. There's that infield tandem. Smolinski pitched it to Solier. 6-4-3, and we go to the second here on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Back here at sunny Spillane Field as we go to the second. And the second inning is presented by Milton Cat, proud to power the Cape all summer long. Still Wade Walton on the hill for the Gatemen. They'll pitch to 7, 8, and 9 of the Mariners, starting off with the first baseman, Sean O'Leary. The lefty digs into the box, batting .188 this season with 3 RBIs. Those high red socks. Twirls the bat a few times with a slightly open stance. First pitch from Walton. Called strike on the outside corner. And the count is 0-1 on O'Leary.
O'Leary back in the M starting lineup after 2 days off. All 3 of his hits this summer have been RBI knocks as well.
0-1. Swung on, a little blooper left side, base hit for O'Leary. That looked like it was off the end of the bat, a little nubbler over the shortstop Garcia's head. And there's a leadoff single again for the Mariners.
It seems like Harwich has really mastered finding the soft spot in a baseball diamond's defense.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's just kind of punching one out there. That's a good piece of hitting, though, to drive the ball and just flare it out to left center field. We've seen Solier do that. He typically hits the ball hard. Peltier laces the ball the other way. That's just part of his game. But that time, you could tell O'Leary just kind of flipped his wrists at it, and the leadoff man is aboard.
Pitch to Sean James. A called strike with a breaking ball in the outside corner. 0-1. First at bat for Sean James here in a Mariner uniform. The catcher today plays his college ball at Mississippi State. This past season, a .309 average in 26 games, a homer, and 14 RBIs. Pitch. Swung on and fouled right back. Ooh, a vicious hack from James. He's smiling after that one.
James did not play every day. He did not play in the NCAA tournament in the Starkville Regional at Mississippi State. So a really talented kid, committed to an SEC school, and now coming here to develop a little bit in the top-tier summer league.
Quickly 0-2. Here's the offering. Oh, before the offering, a check back to first base. O'Leary's safe. Good crowd on hand here at Spillane Field. A slight breeze after we just dealt with a very odd bit of rain. It was fully sunny. The definition of a rain shower, or sun shower. Little tapper, third base side. Elam charges, field throws the first. In time. Nice play from the third baseman, Cade Elam. And there's one gone now in the second, but the runner does advance to second base, and Sean O'Leary.
James got up the line pretty good for a catcher there. That was one of the closer ones we've seen this summer, Milo, and he was digging all the way, kind of fitting that culture that the Mariners have created in this first 2 weeks of Cape League baseball, where they're going to run out. We heard J.P. Peltier in the postgame interview on TV last night say, one of the key points with our guys is we're going to bust it up the line. We're going to hustle. We're going to play good defense, and that's what's led to the success as of late.
This Mariner team is a unit. Everyone wears stirrups. Everyone wears high socks. Pitch to Micah Kirikoff is downstairs with the curveball. 1-0 on Micah, playing center field today for the Mariners, hitting .267 this season, 2 RBIs. Digs into the righty box. Bat over his right shoulder with O'Leary off second. Pitch, hard hit ground ball, third base side, bobbled by Elam. He recovers, pump fakes, throws to first. Got him in time. And he had to throw that one with some juice because Kirikoff was busting it down the first baseline.
It was a difficult play the whole way. The ball was hit really hard to third. Elam kind of just knocked it down, but he stayed with it. And then he had to pump the throw because the pitcher, actually, Walton, was in the way of the line to first base. So a lot going on, but Elam stays poised in a situation like that, and it leads to the out.
So back to the top of the lineup here for the Mariners and Julio Solier. Here's the offering. Swung on, a slasher foul down the right field line. And he's smiling and jumping after that one. Just a bit late on that offering. So the count's 0-1 on Julio. Already has a single today, hitting .320. That leads the team. Taps his bat a few times on home plate. Mariners trying to tack on another here in the second. Already on top, 2-0. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball hit high in the air, right side foul. The good thing about our vantage point here, Luke, is that we're so close to the dugout. You can hear the voices inside of the dugout and their support and what they're saying to these hitters when they're actually at the plate, and even some of the coaches sometimes in their words of encouragement.
Yeah, the coaches to end the home half of the first, we're talking about turning a double play, and then the M's turn a 6-4-3 double play.
0-2. Downstairs in the dirt. That's a nice block by Nikolai, and O'Leary tracks back to second base.
These are the situations that the Mariners have been so solid in on this win streak. 2-out RBI chances. Harwich won the game last night on a 2-out RBI.
1-2's the count, 2 gone. Here's the offering. Breaking ball outside. Solier took that one all the way with confidence. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the second. Mariners on top 2-0. Deuces wild here at Spillane Field. Walton, the tall righty, on the hill, gets the sign from the catcher, Nikolai. O'Leary takes his lead. Here's the pitch. Downstairs. So the count's full, and Solier does his patented walk around the plate.
The Solier shuffle, Milo.
Do we have another word for it? Because it's the Soto shuffle. I think the Solier skip, we said.
Okay.
Make it a little different,
Solier slide, maybe?
Solier slide. I mean, any one of them work, really. Payoff pitch. Swung on, chopped foul, third base side. That's fair. Elam gears up. Oh, foul. So a last-second foul call. Elam was there and ready for the throw.
That probably worked out best for the M's.
Solier probably would have been thrown out. So still full here in the top of the second. Mariners on top 2-0 over the Gatemen. First trip across the bridge here in the 2026 season for the M's. A 5-1 record that's tied at the top of the league with the YD Red Sox. Julio digs back into the righty box, spins the bat a few times. Payoff pitch once again. Breaking ball chopped on the ground, third base side. This time it's foul again. Same exact situation.
This is a battle. This is a battle, Milo. This next pitch will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Remember, Solier fell behind in this account, 0-2. 3 consecutive solid takes worked at full, and now back-to-back foul balls in nearly identical positions. If Solier can come through on an 8-pitch plus at-bat and bring home O'Leary with a 2-out base hit, this would be one of the better at-bats of the entire summer, even though it's not necessarily a high-leverage spot.
This is just what he does. Digs into every at-bat and makes it competitive. Payoff pitch. Breaking ball tapped, slowly foul down the first base line. And they'll do it again. I mean, that's now 3 straight pitches with very similar outcomes for Julio Solier.
Staying alive, and that's something he's done all summer, where he just waits till he gets something that he likes. If the pitcher executes, and I think Walton has on these last couple pitches, Solier is able to spoil it away, fight for another day, and if Walton misses, he'll take first base with a good eye, and if he misses over the plate, Solier is going to drive it.
We say time and time again, longer at-bat advantage to the hitter. Let's see what Solier can do. Payoff pitch. Swung on and popped up. Foul. That's 4 straight foul balls, and Solier is battling at the dish. This at-bat going to go double-digit pitch count.
What this also does, Milo, is this is a Wareham team that's had to use a lot of pitchers as of late. They've given up a lot of runs. They have a run differential of -26 on the summer, and it gets Walton's pitch count up really high. He's already given up now 4 hits, 2 runs, so the leash is kind of coming, but how many guys are left in the bullpen?
Here's the payoff pitch. Called strike 3 on the inside corner, and the battle is won by Wade Walton. The Mariners still on top 2-0 though as we head to the bottom of the second right here on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Back here at Spillane Field as we head to the bottom of the second. Still 2-0 Mariners on top of the Wareham Gatemen alongside Luke Brenneman on Milo Hoffman. Still Jacob Schultz domed the slab for the M's. He worked a pretty smooth bottom of the first, a big 6-4-3 double play to get out of a mini jam. The Mariners trying to keep the foot on the pedal and make it 6 straight victories here in Wareham.
I think this start is everything that Steve Englert could have been looking for. We talked about last night, maybe a little bit of a hangover after such a high of a win, the first walk-off of the season at home on Friday night, and they've come out and they've got out to an early 2-0 lead.
Pitch downstairs to Drew Rogers, the left fielder for Wareham, and the count is 1-0. Rogers comes in hitting .250, a homer. He's walked twice with Wareham as well. Just one of 2 Gatemen players with a home run this season. Here's the 1-0. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count's 2-0.
Seems like Robert McHugh, the home plate umpire tonight, is having a pretty tight strike zone. At least it's been consistent through an inning and a half, but I thought that one was right there, Milo.
2-0 from Schultz. Swung on, lace center field base hit. Well, that was a ripper off the bat. The Gatemen have something going here in the bottom of the second. A leadoff single for Drew Rogers. First hit of the ball game off of Jacob Schultz. And now that brings up Cohen Niklai, the catcher for Wareham. Niklai also has a home run for Wareham, so if you can do some math, these 2 players, Clark and Rogers, the only guys with home runs for the Gatemen, make that Rogers and Niklai. Catcher digs in. Fastball chopped on the ground left side. That gets through the hole into left field for a base hit. So back-to-back singles for Wareham. And now they've got something brewing in the bottom of the second.
It's a good piece of hitting. Niklai didn't really wait around, didn't waste much time, just kind of snuck it through the hole. That's Smolinski over there at short, Peltier at the hot corner for his 3rd consecutive start over there. So we'll see what the lefty out of Vanderbilt can do. 2 on, nobody out, has a 2-run lead, but it's early in this one, Milo. He dialed up a nice double play to end the first inning. Looking for one of those here.
Here's Lincoln Garcia, the shortstop. Pitch. Breaking ball spins in beautifully for strike 1. Lincoln Garcia hitting 111 this season, just a single RBI. Stands at 6'5", 218 pounds. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped up the middle slowly. Smolinski cuts it off Fields and throws to first in time. Both runners advance to second and third. So a productive out for Wareham, and now 2 runners in scoring position for the Gatemen.
Smart decision, though, by Smolinski. There was never really any chance at the double play. Some guys try and make a hero play and maybe turn to second and throw it really hard, and then an inning can really get ugly. You get the first out, maybe settle things down, but now if you're Schultz and the Mariners, you're looking for a shallow fly ball, a weak ground ball, or, of course, the punch-out.
Here's Nate Novinsky, the second baseman. Pitch. Breaking ball hit high in the air, center field. Kirikov is there, could be far enough to tag. He makes the grab. Rogers bluffs, and the throw goes home, but Rogers stays put at third base. So Kirikov, the MAC Defensive Player of the Year, showing off his defensive prowess on that play, and a big second out.
Huge second out. Got the soft contact. Kirikov with a plus arm that was also shallow enough where I think a lot of guys can make that throw to the plate. His throw was on target. It was eventually cut off, Milo. But maybe a big momentum boost and another one for the Mariners early on if they can get out of this.
Here's Cade Elam trying to do damage for the Gatemen. Schultz's pitch. Breaking ball, big cut and miss. 0-1. Elam is 0 for 13 this season, still looking for his first knock on the Cape. As the wind picks up a little bit here at Spillane Field. Digs into the righty box. The long pants. Armor around his left and right wrist. Pitch. Swing and a miss on the fastball this time. 0-2. He does have a walk, so he's reached base once. 4 strikeouts in the box. And now he's quickly behind 0-2. Mariners on top 2-0 over Wareham here. In the bottom of the second, the Gatemen have runners on second and third. 0-2 on its way. Breaking ball downstairs, and the catcher, Sean James, almost lost it, but he recovers quickly behind the plate. And the count is 1-2.
Yeah, when you get ahead, Milo, 0-2, you can kind of pick around, throw some stuff in the dirt, maybe go upstairs with a high fastball, but with a runner at third, it makes it a little bit risky. Also, the one earned run that Schultz has given up this summer on the Cape came on a wild pitch with a runner at third. So you still want to maybe pick around, try and get them to bite because he's ahead, but at the same time, you don't want to give up a free run.
1-2. Upstairs with the heat. 2-2. Fastball sits in the low 90s for Jacob Schultz. Trying to work out of a jam here in the bottom of the second. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the second. Here's the offering. Swung on and fouled off the foot of Elam, so they'll do it again.
This bottom of the order has really hurt Wareham early on this season. Elam and Wax, the 8 and 9 hitters, a combined 0 for 28 at the dish. They're waiting for them to get going, and I think a spot like this, trailing early on with 2 in scoring position, would be a nice way for Elam to break out. For the Mariners, you can suffocate a rally.
Pitch. Just misses outside, so the count is full. A good at-bat now from Cade Elam, who's really been struggling. I already talked about it. 0 for 13. This would be quite the time for his first knock. Runners on second and third for the Gatemen. Payoff delivery. Here it is from Schultz. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. That was a late call from Robert McHugh, the home plate umpire, but a strikeout nevertheless. And the Gatemen straying runners on second and third. 2 hits and no runs. We head to the third inning here at Spillane Field and on the Harwich. Back here at Spillane Field as we head to the third. Still 2-0 Mariners over the Gatemen. So glad you're tuning in alongside Luke Brenneman. I'm Milo Hoffman. It's still Wade Walton on the hill for Wareham, and he deals to 2, 3, and 4 in the Mariner lineup, starting off with J.P. Peltier. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball upstairs, and the count is 1-0 on Peltier. He singled back in the first and came around to score. He was the walk-off hero yesterday for Harwich. Walk-off RBI single to win the Mariners' 5th straight game. Here's the offering. Fastball called a strike on the outside corner.
Seems like early on in the summer for Peltier, he's one of those hitters, Milo, that likes to just see a few, settle into the at-bat.
Digs back in. 1-1. Swung on and fouled right back. And the count is now 1-2 as the wind picks up here at Spillane Field. The clouds are flying overhead. Still sunny skies out to right. We had a little bit of a sun shower earlier in this game. One of the more odd rain showers I've seen in recent memory. It was totally sunny on the field, but raining overhead. 1-2. Fastball swing and a miss. So Peltier down on strikes, and there's one quick out here in the top of the third for the Gatemen.
Although Walton's given up 4 hits, got beat up for 2 runs in the opening inning, his punch-outs have been there throughout the course of these now 2 1/3. That's his 4th strikeout of the night. He had back-to-back timely strikeouts to end the first inning with the damage just at 2 for the Mariners. And he kicks off the 3rd by punching out, arguably, Harwich's hottest hitter, J.P. Peltier.
Well, here's Ty Smolinski. Doesn't get much easier with him. Shortstop digs in. He looks at a pitch downstairs, and the count is 1-0 on Ty. He had an RBI single back in the first, hitting .273 on the season, 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. Those 2 home runs the most on the Mariners. 1-0. Fastball ripped to right and drops in for a base hit. Right in front of the right fielder, Apple, who fields and fires in. So another single for Ty Smolinski. That's his 2nd on the day. That average keeps on skyrocketing. And the Mariners have a 1-out runner aboard here in the top of the 3rd.
He can really hit, Milo. We've seen him go down low to kind of golf some, and those have been his home runs. And then you give him something up high, he's just going to jump all over it, pull it, and drive it. Hits the ball so hard. Smolinski, just not one of those guys that we've seen this summer, like many Mariners that have kind of beat out an infield hit or floated one in on a jam shot. He hits the ball hard when he gets on base.
There's Quentin Coates. He looks at a curveball inside. Someone else who can hit the ball hard, to say the least. Hit 28 home runs at Cincinnati this past season. Still looking for his first long ball with the Mariners, but he's been hot as of late. Yesterday had 2 hits against Orleans. Hitting cleanup today for Harwich. Pitch. Swing and a miss. So 1-1's the count on Coates. Smolinski leads off of first. 1 gone in the top of the 3rd. Mariners on top 2-0 over the Gatemen. Harwich looking for 6 straight wins. Here's the offering. Just inside with the heat. And the count's 2-1.
Good eye there from Coates. I think he's got to be ready to hit. He was a little bit late on the first strike, swung and missed at a fastball center cut. I think he's officially out of that start of the summer 3-4 game slump. He was hitting the ball really hard last night.
2-1. Breaking ball tapped at the dish. Foul. And the count is now 2-2. And you can tell when Coates just misses one, he kind of winces. He knew he had a pitch to do some damage with. That was a hanging curveball over the center of the plate. So he'll dig back in with his maroon bat. Taps it a few times on the plate. Crouches in the righty box. Smolinski off of first. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, back pick to first. Not in time. Smolinski over there has just 2 stolen bases on the season for the Mariners. He picked up 1 yesterday. But you kind of scratch your head at that thought. He's a middle infielder, has some speed, has just run twice. See if he takes off here. Counts full. Coates digs back into the box. Pitch from Walton. Nope, check back to first.
We had this conversation earlier this summer, Milo, with Coates. I know it's a small sample size, but when he gets on base, it's normally an extra base hit. So I don't really see the need of maybe forcing the issue here.
Runner goes, pitch is laced to center field. Wax does not have it play. It bounces in front of him and trickles into the left center field gap. Smolinski around second, cruises into third, and Coates goes into second base. That'll go as a single and an error on the center fielder, and the Mariners have runners on second and third now.
That ball was hit really hard, and I think Wax didn't get a very good jump on it. I think it maybe is playable as in a catch on the fly for an out if he got a good jump. Maybe Kirikov makes that play, the Mariners center fielder. However, Wax never really committed. Then he got stuck in no man's land, kind of had to bump it off of his shoulder, and it trickles away just enough for both runners to get across 2 more bases.
So now Charlie Bussey with 2 runners in scoring position for the Mariners. 6 hits so far for Harwich today, and the infield comes in for the Gatemen, trying to track down any runner at home. Here's the pitch. Outside. The count is 1-0. Bussey struck out back in the first. That was looking. Hitting .313 this season, on base percentage up near 500. That leads the Mariners. 1-0 on its way. Strike right there with a fastball. And the count is 1-1.
Mariners dugout explodes with good leave, Bus, so maybe not one to go after.
He's been patient at the plate so far this season. He has 3 walks. 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners on second and third for Harwich here, 1 gone. Offering. Curveball tapped foul off of Bussey's cleat. And the count's 1-2.
We've seen that a lot this summer from Charlie Bussey, hitting the ball off his foot, and those pitches that can get down and in, especially the off-speed. Bussey kind of turning those hips, wanting a fastball and trying to fight it off. Not really to stay alive there in a 1-1 count, but he's really good at staying alive as well, and that can kind of be the recoil effect of being early on a pitch in that location.
Takes a deep breath and digs back in. 1-2 on its way. Here it is. Breaking ball just misses outside. That's a nice take from Bussey. And he hears a lot of goods from the dugout here right beside us. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 gone. Harwich and Wareham here at Spillane Field. The Mariners on top 2-0. Walton comes set. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses inside. And the count's full.
Another really good at-bat here from Bussey, trying to avenge his strikeout with a runner in scoring position and just 1 out in the opening inning.
Walton dangles out his right arm, now comes set at the belt. Fires home. Fastball swing and a miss. Bussey down on strikes for the 2nd time this evening, and a big second out for Wareham here in the top of the 3rd. Just a little late on that heater, and that brings up Ryan Garrity, the right fielder. Garrity 0 for 1 today. He has a strikeout. That was back in the 1st. Trying to bring home 2 more runs for the Ners. Pitch from Walton. Breaking ball spins in for strike 1.
Another spot for Garrity, similar to the 1st inning where Bussey struck out in a situation like this. There were just 1 in scoring position at that point in the 1st inning. Now this time you can get a 2-out knock and bring in 2 if Coates can get around third base quickly.
Walton deals home. Swung on, popped up. Left side of the infield drifts into foul territory. Elam, third baseman, gives it a look, but he does not have a play, and it bounces beyond the fence for a long and high strike number 2.
See if he can protect. We talked about it. Garrity's average not very high, but he gets on base with the best of them.
That on-base percentage, over 400. One of the best on the team here for the Mariners. He digs back into the lefty box. 0-2 on its way. Fastball upstairs. The count's 1-2. That's a good leave right there from Ryan Garrity. 7 walks this season. And he goes to work almost every time he's at the dish. Trying to do some damage here for Harwich. They're on top 2-0 over Wareham. In the top of the 3rd. Here's the offering. Swung on and chopped foul down the first base line.
Not seeing any action in the Gatemen bullpen right now, and you could maybe question why are you saying that. It's the top of the 3rd, but that was the 60th pitch of the start from the right-hander Walton. Most guys on the Cape, we've seen about a 70 to maximum 80 pitch count leash.
And that bullpen out in left field. An interesting bullpen location for sure. Very open. Pitch. Downstairs in the dirt. It gets by Nikolai, the catcher, and Smolinski dashes home to score. So the Mariners tack home another run via a wild pitch and now hold a 3-0 lead over the Gatemen in the 3rd inning.
I'm not going to give all the credit to that, but Milo, that's a big reason that Harwich has had success, and they're the number 1 run-scoring team in Cape Cod right now, is Garrity gets into an 0-2 hole. He grinds out this at-bat to this point. You see pitch after pitch. Finally, Walton makes a mistake, and the M's capitalize with a guy just 90 feet away.
Yeah, Coates advances to 3rd on the play as well. Counts 1-2 on Garrity. Walton's pitch. Fastball inside. Garrity had to brush out of the way on that one as little raindrops start to fall again here at Spillane Field, but it's so sunny.
Blue skies,
yeah.
A couple clouds.
Maybe we'll see a rainbow. That's normally what happens in these situations. Counts full on Garrity. He's gone to work in this at-bat so far. Runner on 3rd, it's Coates. Here's the pitch. Fastball, cold strike 3 on the outside corner. And down goes Garrity as he shakes his head and walks back to the dugout. But the Mariners bring home another run via another wild pitch. 2 hits, 1 man left on base as we go to the bottom of the third here on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Back here at Spillane Field, and the rain has started to come down, but the sun is fully shining. That's right, I'm confused as well. The Mariners are on top, 3-0 over the Gatemen. In the bottom of the third, just about to get set. Jacob Schultz still on the hill for the M's. And Luke, this is very confusing. I mean, it's so sunny out here, but the rain is coming down. It's not just like a small drizzle now. This is full-on rain.
I mean, we're borderline a couple ticks away from pouring. I mean, I've never really seen anything like it. It's starting to slow down as we're talking about it, which is a good sign. Not very windy. You know, the Cape can typically be windy. Granted, we're not necessarily on the Cape, but the cameras are out. There must be a pretty wicked rainbow, and there is. Look over your right shoulder.
Look at that. There it is.
Everybody turned around. I saw a bunch of pictures over there. I was like, the field is not that way, but the rainbow is.
Well, Jacob Schultz is on the field, and he deals to Jason Wax, the center fielder. Pitch. Fastball called to strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-1 on Wax.
Mariners add another. I think the mantra stays the same. Pound the strike zone. Challenge the lineup here on the Cape that struggled the most out of all 10 teams to put the ball in play and beat you.
0-1. Swing and a miss. A big swing and a miss on a nasty curveball there from Schultz, and it's 0-2. Well, Luke, you're going to pick up your scorebook? You got it camping under the table right now.
It'll be just fine.
All right. Dry off a little bit. Had to put our computers away. Make sure no damage is done there. 0-2. Breaking ball had no break and left upstairs. So the count is 1-2 now. Wax is 0 for 15 so far this season. He does have an RBI, but 7 strikeouts trying to get it going in the box. Schultz comes set at the letters. 1-2 on its way. Swung on, hit high in the air, left field and playable. Bussey's there, charges in, and he makes the grab. That ball deadened midair, and Bussey made the play about 10 feet back of Smolinski, the shortstop. And there's one gone now in the bottom of the third.
I mean, Milo, as soon as I say it's not really windy, the wind kind of ramps up with the rain. The wind, if anything, is pushing in. So it's going to be tough, especially in that left field area. That's kind of where it's coming from. You can see the flags down the left field line, and it's directly into these right-handed hitters to the pole side.
And those are breezing out there. Back to the top, it's Foster Apple. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, and the count's 1-0. Apple popped out to first back in the first inning. Mariners on top 3-0 over the Gatemen here in the bottom of the third. Harwich going for 6 straight wins. Schultz's pitch. Fastball misses inside, and the count's 2-0. Schultz only went 2 innings in his first appearance here with Harwich, so now working into the third. Pitch count a little bit higher.
He also did not start a single game in 19 appearances at Vanderbilt this season. He was primarily a bullpen guy when he pitched 19 2/3, so right around a little bit above an inning per appearance.
Trying to gobble up some innings here for the Mariners. 2-0's the count. The hitter is Foster Apple, the leadoff man and right fielder for Wareham. Here's the offering. That's a called strike with the fastball in the inside corner. And it's 2-1. The sun is out. The rain's starting to slow down here at Spillane, but still some drizzling. This is now a drizzle. Before it was like a rain. Now it's light, almost like a sprinkler. 2-1 from Schultz. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Foul tip into the glove of the catcher, James, and now it's 2-2.
Yeah, rough start to this at-bat, back-to-back misses that really didn't challenge Apple, the leadoff man, but Schultz gets his way back into this count, now even at 2-2. Can tell he's kind of battling with the good pitch, bad pitch, but he's been in control and he's been better with runners on base.
2-2. Curveball, called strike 3. That was gorgeous. A little 12-6 action from Schultz, and there's 2 gone now in the bottom of the 3rd. That just completely buckled Foster Apple. Had no chance. He gave up on that pitch about halfway to home plate. And now he's back in the dugout for Wareham. And that brings up Tony Lira, the DH today for the Gatemen. He reached in the first because he was hit by a pitch. Schultz puts his hand back in his all-black glove. Fires home. Curveball, there it is again, and there's another strike. 0-1.
That was a really nice curveball. I think it even maybe fooled the home plate umpire, Robert McHugh, because by the time that thing was done breaking, it was around the shins of the tall Lira.
Digs in, crouches in the ready box. 0-1. Fastball cut on and missed. 0-2. Schultz is in a rhythm on the mound, trying to work a quick 1-2-3 frame here for the Mariners. The lefty digs back on the mound. Stands third base side of the rubber. Comes set. Here's the 0-2. Fastball chopped on the ground left side. Smolinski charges, gobbles, and throws to first in time. That's a nifty 1-2-3 frame for Jacob Schultz and Harwich as we head to the 4th here on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. M still lead 3-0.
We've played 3 on the road in Wareham. Alongside Milo Hoffman, I'm Luke Brenneman on the Mariners Radio Network. The Ners lead the Gatemen 3-0, and Harwich back due up here in the top of the 4th. It's 7, 8, and 9, O'Leary, James, and Kirikoff. And the top of the 4th brought to you by Eastern Propane and Oil. Proud to recognize our hometown heroes throughout the Cape. If you are active duty military, a veteran, police, fire, or EMT personnel, you are eligible for a discount. Eastern Propane and Oil. First pitch to Leary in there, strike 1. O'Leary 1 for 1. Had a single to left field in the 2nd inning. Back up for the second plate appearance here in the 4th. The 0-1 is a fastball too high, and the count's 1-1.
And O'Leary had a nice single back in the second, sort of a poker out to left field, just put his bat on the ball, and sometimes that will happen.
1-1, cut on and miss, pitch at the shins. O'Leary was reaching, and now he's down 1-2. It's still the right-hander, standing at 6'5" at a high point, Wade Walton. Pitch count now at 65 after getting ahead of O'Leary 1-2. Walton comes home, 2-strike pitch, got him looking right down the middle with the fastball. That's his third consecutive strikeout dating back to the third inning and his 7th of the contest.
Yeah, Walton's got that punch-out stuff going. I mean, despite being down 3-0 in this game, he's done pretty well ever since that first inning. Mariners' run came across in the third via a wild pitch. But other than that, the strikeout step has been working. But like you said, the pitch count because of that is really, really high.
First pitch swinging is the Harwich catcher making his debut, Sean James. Fouls it off right around his feet. He's down 0-1. James grounded out to third in his first plate appearance. Catcher out of Mississippi State playing in the SEC, hit over 300 for average at 309, put one over the fence. The 0-1. That's a nasty slider called a strike, belt high, and James quickly down 0-2. Walton's fastball, changeup, slider, curve. It's primarily just fastball change. Right-on-right matchup here with the Harwich catcher. Nobody on, 1 out. The Mariners lead by 3. It's the top of the 4th in Wareham. The 0-2 is a fastball just borderline low and away, and James will fight to see another pitch. Kirikoff on deck, then the top of the order if we get there. Mariners already have 6 hits tonight through 3 1/3. The 1-2. James fouls it off, 1-2.
Yeah, interesting to see James in his at-bats. Competitive first at-bat. He ended up grounding out to third base, but he's been real confident at the dish. You can just tell he's got some of that swagger to him.
1-2. Cut on and miss. Strike 3. That's now 4 consecutive punch-outs from Wade Walton, his 8th of the night. Walton has really picked it up. The Mariners, when they're not striking out, they're getting base hits, Milo. But you can tell the control is getting a little bit more pinpoint right now from the 6'5" right-hander.
Yeah, I mean, 4 straight strikeouts kind of tells the whole story. He's either a guy who's going to put it over the plate and the Mariners are going to do damage with it, or he's going to punch you out with the fastball.
He's been keeping hitters guessing and getting ahead. He starts off Kirikoff with a hanging breaking ball that lands belt high, called strike 1.
Kirikoff talking to home plate umpire Robert McHugh after that one, checking to see the location.
Kirikoff has been a run-producing machine at the bottom of the lineup for Harwich. 5 runs. That's second on the team. The 0-1, Kirikoff checked his swing but didn't go. Pitch in the dirt. And the count's even at a ball and a strike. 267 for average. He's knocked in a pair. Has a double as well. That was his last start on the road against Falmouth. The Mariners took that one 13-0. 1-1. Cut on and fouled straight back. And Kirikoff now in another 2-strike count. O'Leary struck out to begin the inning. Then James struck out. And Kirikoff down 1-2. There is a little bit of movement down the left field line in the Wareham bullpen. This is pitch number 76 for Walton. The 1-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. He struck out the side. That's now 5 in a row down on strikes. The M's still lead 3-0. We'll be back in the bottom of the 4th on the Mariners Radio Network. a handful. Well, that's how many the Mariners have won in a row. Harwich 5-1 on the young summer on the Cape. And after falling on opening day, it has been perfect ever since. And a 3-0 start on the road at Wareham, looking to extend the winning streak to 6. And we're here down the first base side next to the Harwich dugout with Milo Hoffman. I'm Luke Brenneman. And the Mariners starter Jacob Schultz out of Vanderbilt, since hitting the portal, transferring to his hometown, Houston, to play in the Big 12. Is going to try and go at least one more scoreless inning on the road here at Spillane Field. Milo, what has been working for the Harwich left-hander?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just been that fastball combined with that 12-6 curveball that he's working in. I mean, he's got some nasty deception on these pitches from the mound, and it's impressive to see because this is now by far his longest outing with the Mariners, and like you said, someone who doesn't normally start.
Here's Levi Clark. He's hitting third. It'll be 3, 4, and 5. First pitch fastball in, ball 1. Clark is 0 for 1, grounded into an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play in the opening inning. Schultz looks in, kicks, and fires. The 1-0 popped up foul over the press box and out of play. The count's even at a ball and a strike. Milo, you stack up these two teams, it looks like maybe the scouting report could get ugly tonight. Harwich, number 1 in runs scored. Wareham, number 10 in runs scored. Harwich, number 1 in RBI. Wareham, number 10 in runs batted in. And you could go down with on-base percentage is the same, slugging percentage is the same. Mariners are pretty good. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Clark late on the fastball. That one came in at 93, and now he's behind 1-2.
And, of course, 10 is otherwise known as last here in the Cape League baseball. So, like,
dead last.
Dead last. They have been struggling on offense.
Schultz kicks and fires. The 1-2. Check swing, no go from Clark, and the count's even at 2-2. The manager for the Gatemen is Ryan Smythe in his 4th year in Wareham. And they started in a similar fashion to this last season. It wasn't as ugly in the stats column, but just 1 win in their first 8 games, actually. And then they really ramped it up, ended up making the playoffs. Swing and a miss at the 2-2. That was a slider that cut into his ankles, and that's the first out of the 4th. Clark down on strikes.
Yeah, Schultz has been dialing it up on the mound and almost keeping up with Wade Walton now in the strikeout category. That was Schultz's 3rd punch-out of the game, so not nearly at Walton's total just yet, but they have been battling on the mound, and 2 pitchers that seem like they're in a real groove right now.
Here's Drew Rogers. He's 1 for 1. Singled in the 2nd. First pitch. Called a strike at the knees. That's a beautiful pitch to start a guy off with. It's right there where it's borderline enough where maybe don't go after it in the first pitch, but the fastball pumped in at 93 on the gun. And Schultz able to get ahead. The lefty working quickly, the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Slowed it down that time, similar spot below the knees. And just like that, in a blink of an eye, Rogers in an 0-2 hole.
Rogers taking a deep breath right now as he digs back into the box. He just shook out his right hand a little bit, trying to loosen up a little bit.
Schultz, 2-strike pitch. Popped up, first base side, and that exits the ballpark. Rogers fouls it away. We'll see another.
Luke, when I looked up right there, I totally lost the ball because there's a cloud right above us that's the same exact color as the ball. So I was a little scared right there for a sec.
So we are on school property here in Wareham, and I'm just begging for the sun down the third base line to go under the school building. I've been squinting for nearly 2 hours now. Another 0-2 pitch. Check swing, appeal down to first, struck him out. First base umpire Sam Finn puts away Rogers' back-to-back Ks from the left-hander Schultz, and there's quickly 2 outs with nobody on in the 4th.
Yeah, both of these starting pitchers now really racking up the Ks. That was a breaking ball in the dirt. And Schultz with this off-speed has been fooling all of the Gatemen hitters. They don't have any competitive at-bats.
I think the key for Schultz, as we're seeing now in his 2nd appearance of the summer, Milo, is if he can get ahead, he has dominant put-away stuff. That's his 4th strikeout. First offering to the catcher Nikolai. Foul tip into the mitt of the catcher Sean James, 0-1. Nikolai now has 2 hits on the summer after he singled in the 2nd. He's 2 for 12, a home run and a single. 0-1. Fastball a little bit too tall. So Schultz has been getting maybe the borderline calls at the knees, maybe a little bit below, but he doesn't get that one up near the letters and the shoulders area. Count even at a ball and a strike. Last time out, the Gatemen fell to Hyannis 4-1 last night on the road. The 1-1 swing and a miss. That's a beauty from Schultz. Nikolai way out in front of an off-speed pitch. And now it's 1-2. Back-to-back punch-outs to kick off the bottom of the fourth for the left-handed starter, Jacob Schultz. And after Walton struck out the side of Mariners in the top half of this inning, we could see 6 consecutive strikeouts fouled away, just barely cut a piece. We'll do it again. I can't say that I have the baseball memory to know if I've seen one of these or not, but 3 up, 3 down in the top half and the bottom half, all on punch-outs, would be quite unique.
That's true. That's a good point right there.
Here's Schultz. Working from the stretch, kicks, fires the 1-2 up high. Fastball, Nikolai stays away. And the count's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lincoln Garcia on deck if we get there. The duo of Rogers, who just struck out, and now Nikolai, who's up right now, are the only 2 Gatemen to have hits tonight against Schultz. 2-2. Swing and a foul straight back into the netting behind home plate. That was a breaking ball that was hanging over the middle. Luckily for Schultz, Nikolai was early expecting fastball and just barely caught a piece.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was probably the worst pitch that Schultz has had this inning. And Nikolai just a bit early on it, like you said, a bit underneath it. Give that pitch to him one more time, it might be a different outcome.
See if Schultz can capitalize. Another 2-2. Bouncing ball, first base side. It's the pitcher Schultz, scurries over, left-handed pitch in time. A 1-2-3 fourth. That's now 9 consecutive for Jacob Schultz, the starter. The Mariners 3, the Gatemen none. We go to the 5th on the Mariners Radio Network. We're back here in Wareham. The Mariners lead the Gatemen 3-0. Time for the 5th inning on the Mariners Radio Network. It's the top of the order due up for Harwich. They're looking to wake up a little bit offensively. Sure, already 6 hits. They got it going in the first 3 innings. But going back to the 3rd inning, Harwich has now struck out 5 times in a row. But thankfully for the Mariners, the starter Wade Walton's night is done. 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned. Did not walk a Mariner and struck out 9.
Yeah.
So the punch-out stuff was there, but he gave up a lot of loud contact. No extra base hits after Quentin Coates' double was changed to a single and then an error on the center fielder Wax. And here we go. It's the right-hander Braden Kersey out of Mercer, who is now transferring to Tennessee. So he's teaming up with the Mariner Trent Grinlinger and he's ditching the Mariner, Miguel Hugues. First pitch to Solier. Broken bat, pop up, first base side, out of play. That one got him in on the handle. Julio spoils it foul. Solier 1 for 2 so far today, singled to kick off this ball game, and then eventually scored.
Yeah, there's only been 3 outs made in the field for the Gatemen so far today. Everything else has either been a single.
0-1 in the dirt. The
or a
pitch
strikeout.
mix for the right-hander Kersey is fastball, slider, curveball, and sometimes he'll throw in a changeup. That's rare. About 2 times in every 50 pitches. Kersey looks in. 1-1 to Solier. Swing and a miss. Julio reached at a pitch that scraped the dirt, and now he's behind 1-2. It's a big move for the right-hander out of Mercer to pick up and leave Mercer to go to Tennessee to play in the SEC.
Yep.
Knoxville, a good place to be. 2-strike pitch. Solier stays away. That one bounced off of home plate. The count's even at 2-2. So the numbers for Kersey in 2026 appeared 20 times for just 20 innings of action at a 4.95 ERA. More volume in 2025, a 4.97 ERA in 50 2/3 innings of action. 2-2. Solier takes fastball outside, and the count goes full. That's the second time in just 3 at-bats so far tonight, Milo, that Solier got into an 0-2 or 1-2 count and has now worked it full.
I mean, this is now 3 at-bats for Julio in just the 4th inning.
Kersey looks in. The big right-hander kicks and fires. The payoff pitch in the dirt, ball 4. A nice at-bat from Solier. And the Mariners have the leadoff man aboard here in the 5th. That is the first free pass of the game presented by Cape Cod Community College. Go to Cape Cod Community College for free. Every program, no tuition or fees for those that qualify. capecod.edu/free for more.
Luke, we were wondering if we were actually going to read that one tonight, right?
First walk of the entire contest. I like that. That's good baseball. The pitcher's attacking hitters. I mean, maybe the starter Walton might want a couple pitches back that potentially could have missed the zone. He gave up 6 hits in just 4 innings. First pitch to J.P. Peltier in the dirt low. J.P.'s ahead. 1 for 2 so far tonight. Like Solier, singled and scored in the first, since struck out in the third. J.P.'s average over 220 on the summer, has the 1 long ball. But his 6 RBI lead the Mariners. 1-0 pitch. Peltier punches one in between second and first. That's a base hit. Solier thought about first to third, but the ball was hit too hard. And here we go again. First and second, nobody out for the M's.
Yeah, just a brilliant piece of hitting from Peltier. He's really starting to find his stride. And why wouldn't he be? I mean, a walk-off single, that'll give you some confidence. And also, that hit was pretty similar to that walk-off single yesterday. Just an inside-out swing to right field, get it down.
When we talked to him last night in the post-game interview, I asked him what he was looking for in the game-winning hit. He said anything away because it gives him the ability to just slash it out the other way. And these aren't just dunks the other way, Milo. They're completely ripped line drives. First and second, nobody out, brings up Smolinski. And this is the guy that the M's won up tonight. He's 2 for 2, a pair of singles to start and an RBI in the first inning. Kersey dealing with some trouble. Back-to-back base runners since coming in out of the pen. First pitch in the dirt low. That was a fastball. Kersey has pitched once this summer. It was on the 16th of the month. Got the save at Chatham. Went an inning and 2/3. Gave up 1 hit, 1 run. And struck out an angler. Peltier off of first. Solier in scoring position at second. Nobody out. 1-0. Smolinski spits on a pitch inside and now ties ahead in the count 2-0.
Yeah, Ty after that pitch is staring Quentin Coates on deck. Trying to confirm what pitch type maybe or asking for some feedback on something in the box, but he digs back in with all the confidence in the world.
2-0. Swing and a miss. Smolinski was not fully committed to that swing. Pitch was low and away. Tried to stop it, but went around. Now 2-1 on the Mariners shortstop. Milo, you mentioned Quentin Coates on deck. We've seen Solier and Peltier successfully attempt a double steal already this summer. 2-1. Swing and a miss again. A similar swing where Smolinski knew the pitch was away right as he went, kind of gave up on it. Nonetheless, called strike 2, and it's now 2-2.
Yeah, right after that pitch, Smolinski looked to the scoreboard out in right field with the miles per hour, trying to figure out what this guy on the mound is dealing.
Kersey trying to get the first out of the frame. The 2-2, ground ball, first base side foul, out of play. Another good at-bat for the shortstop out of Kansas State, Ty Smolinski. In the win last night against Orleans, Smolinski was 0 for 3, reached base on a walk in the 5th, but already back-to-back singles to kick this one off over the bridge in Wareham. 2 on, nobody out, the count 2-2. Here's the pitch. Smolinski smashes one, first base side through into right field, a base hit. Solier gets the wave, he's going to score from second. Up to second base is J.P. Peltier, and an RBI for Smolinski, his 3rd hit of the game, and his 2nd RBI puts the Mariners ahead 4-0.
just a machine. He's a machine every time he's at the plate, and even in that bat where he took 2 swings that looked a little off balance, wasn't necessarily sure what was coming at him, he still buckles down, works the count long, and then deposits a single to right.
Looks like the Mariners can really bust this thing wide open here in the 5th. First and second, nobody out, 1 already in. The M's lead 4-0 over the Gatemen. Here's Quentin Coates, first pitch, swing and a miss, pitch in the dirt, 0-1. Coates 1 for 2 so far tonight, doubled in the 3rd, lined out sharply to center in the 1st. Seems like the timing is really picking up right now for the first baseman out of Cincinnati. Had a pair of hits last night, a double that was hit 107 miles an hour off the bat. 0-1, swing and a miss, and Coates quickly behind, 0-2. Kersey, the right-hander, out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Soon to be a Tennessee Volunteer. 2-strike pitch, runners go. Pitch outside, no throw, and a double steal from the M's. Add 2 more stolen bases to a league-leading tally in that department. That's number 31 and 32. Nobody is within 10 stolen bases of the Mariners on this young summer.
And it's been the name of the game for Harwich so far. And, I mean, singles just turn into doubles and triples.
So now 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. Coates down 1-2. Infield comes in. Here's the 2-strike pitch. In the dirt, a solid take, low and away, and the count's even.
And Coates has had 2 really good at-bats so far today. A line out to center field that was scorched off the bat, and then he singled. So 2 well-hit balls, both to center for Coates.
This could be a spot for Coates to just blow this game wide open. 2-2. Coates checked his swing. No appeal. Pitch was called a ball. Now they appeal down to second base. Joe Carrico says no go. And after falling behind 0-2, Coates has worked the count full. First base is open. Charlie Bussey on deck. Infield is still in for the Gatemen. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss at the high fastball. Coates down on strikes. That's the first strikeout out of the bullpen from Kersey, and it's safe to say he needed that one. Still plenty of more work to do for Kersey. Another tough task with Charlie Bussey, who's hitting over 300 for average. 2nd and 3rd, just 1 out, with 1 already in the 5th. Bussey 0 for 2 tonight, a rare showing early on. Back-to-back strikeouts in the 1st and 3rd innings. The infield stays in for the right-handed hitter out of St. Francis Marion. Division II school. Right-hander Kersey called time. Now he digs back in. First pitch to Bussey. Called a strike at the knees, 0-1.
Yeah, and Coates literally in the dugout just now said, "Come on, Bussey, pick me up, baby." So cheering on his teammate at the dish right now, and that's just sort of the camaraderie that this team has right now. A full-on team, and the players want to play for each other.
Mariners have picked each other up so many times this summer. Bussey, ground ball, third base side. Throw comes home to the plate. Is it in time? Yes. Peltier out of the plate. Cade Elam at third connects with the catcher Nikolai. A good throw, a better tag. And the out at home is now the second out of the inning. Bussey grounds into a 5-2 fielder's choice. Smolinski goes from second to third. Peltier out of the plate. And the Ners have first and third with 2 outs in the fifth.
Yeah, it seemed like Harwich was running on contact there, and Peltier had no chance of being safe on that one. A nice play from Elam, the third baseman.
Now is a good time as the pitching coach Eric Luxus comes out to have a word with Kersey, trying to limit the damage to 1 for our Trident trivia question of the day. Remember, tweet at us on the Harwich Mariners Twitter account, hashtag Trident Trivia. Milo, here is your question of the night. What year was the oh-so-famous Harwich Mariners president Mary Henderson inducted into the Cape Cod Baseball League Hall of Fame? Because I'm sure you're really caught up on this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, an expert on this topic. So do you want me to guess, or should we wait? Do you have a guess?
I mean, the color commentator has been guessing. So.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. This is kind of a different one. We've gone like,
Trust me, nobody expects you to get this, brother.
I'm gonna go with 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
It's Ryan Garrity for now. 2 outs. Runners at the corners. High fly, right center field. It takes Waxon center back, and he makes the ear-high catch for the third and final out. The Mariners get 1 on the Smolinski RBI, his third hit of the night, but they leave 2 in scoring position. Extend their advantage to 4-0. We'll be back in the bottom of the fifth on the Mariners Radio Network. Back here at Spillane Field, the Mariners lead the Gatemen 4-0. Time for the bottom of the fifth, and the Mariners go to the bullpen for the first time tonight. It's the right-hander out of Point Pleasant, New Jersey, Brian Matishat. Matishat pitched his first 2 collegiate seasons at Sacred Heart. He pitched for the Mariners last summer, and before coming to Harwich this summer, enters the portal and just yesterday committed to Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton. I caught up with Brian pregame and said, was your teammate on the Mariners, James Littman, any bit of a resource in you landing an FAU offer and commitment? He said, well, believe it or not, they were at our game, and they saw me pitch, and he got the offer that day.
There you go.
So Matishat, a Florida Atlantic Eagle. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Gatemen. They got work to do. Currently being shut out, Wareham, believe it or not, just 13 runs scored in their 6 games this summer. That is dead last on the Cape, and it's up to Brian Matishat to keep it that way. Here's Lincoln Garcia, the shortstop. First pitch ripped down the left field line, a base hit. Charlie Bussey's on it. A big turn from the 6'5 shortstop, And he steps on first base and will stay there. A leadoff knock to start the fifth.
Yeah, that caught all barrel right there. And that's the start you want here for Wareham in this frame. They've been shut out twice this season already, and we're just 6 games into this thing.
They lost last night 4-1 at Hyannis. The Mariners won a nail-biter, a walk-off winner 3-2 at home against Orleans. That brings up Nowitzki. First pitch, fouled away, third base side. Matachat gets ahead. Matachat at Sacred Heart this season appeared 13 times. All 13 were starts. Went a whopping 8 innings, 8-0 of action, a 6.61 ERA. And he really got snake bit by the long ball. Gave up 16 home runs. Check on the runner at first, not in time. Garcia's back in there standing. Only one player in the entirety of the Gatemen starting lineup tonight has a stolen base. It's the leadoff man, Foster Apple. The 6 total stolen bags from the Gatemen, also bottom 3 on the Cape.
Just the exact opposite of the Mariners.
The 0-1's in the dirt, and the count's 1-1 to Nate Nowitzki, the second baseman. 1-1 pitch. Nowitzki smashes it into the ground. Foul. 1-2. Nowitzki, the infielder, California kid, goes to the University of Arizona in Tucson. And in 2026, just his freshman season, he redshirted, granted, because of an injury. But he was a Big 12 all-freshman team nod, hit .297 for average, put 5 over the fence, and drove in 27. The pitch. Ground ball, first base side. O'Leary on it. The throw to second for the force. The throw back to first. Oh, my goodness. Matachat was covering, didn't catch it, and it hits the runner, Nate Nowitzki, in the helmet. He's going to be safe at first. He gives the first base coach a thumbs up, and I guess that's the best place to get hit. And, Milo, do I dare say the Mariners caught a break with that hitting his helmet?
I mean, yeah, first of all, excellent play from O'Leary to scoop it up the first baseman, and he made a really good throw to second. And then, yeah, I mean, it could be a break.
Because that ball was going into the dugout.
Yeah, it could have been extra base for Wareham.
So Nowitzki stays put at first after grounding in to the 3-6 fielder's choice. And with 1 on and 1 out, it's the third baseman, Cade Elam. Right-on-right matchup with the new arm into the game, Matachat. First pitch. Sliced foul, right field line. The Mariners' 2.94 ERA as a staff is now third best on the Cape. And the 3-2 win last night against Orleans, parlayed with the day before, 13-0 shutout win against Falmouth, is a good way to keep the team ERA down. And it's scoreless baseball into the 5th inning in Wareham. The Mariners lead 4-0. Check on the runner at first, Nowitzki, back with a head-first dive. Jacob Schultz, the starter, gave the Harwich 4 innings of 2-hit, no-run baseball to kick things off. Harwich looking to win their 6th game in a row. Ground ball into right field. Solier reached out and could not get there. That's the second base hit of the inning. Elam gets on. And Nowitzki over to second base. It's first and second with 1 out for the Gatemen.
Yeah, that was just a 10-hopper over to Solier at second base, and I thought he was going to have a play, but it kept drifting farther and farther away from him to the glove side, and then he finally lunged down, tried to pick it up, but just didn't have the reach.
Here's the outfielder, Jason Wax. Wax is now 0 for 16 on the Cape, has struck out 7 times, and a first and second situation, trailing by 4 in the middle innings, maybe a good time to get his first hit, first offering. Outside ball 1.
Looks like Aiden Kitchings is warming up in the Wareham bullpen down the left field line right now. Something to keep an eye on, or an ear out for.
Elam off of first, Nowitzki off of second. Matachat from the stretch, the 1-0, fouled straight back. Matachat evens the count at a ball and a strike. So if you also want to dive into some more of the Wareham offensive issues, another whopping difference compared to Harwich is they've only walked 21 times. The Gatemen have not walked tonight. There's 1 out in the 5th. 1-1. Just a little bit downstairs, 2-1. Fastball at the shins. Matashat and the Mariner catcher Sean James making his debut tonight. Tried to frame that sucker up, but no can do if it's up to Robert McHugh behind the plate. Brian Matashat down in the count, 2-1. Wax waits. The pitch. High chopper. First base side. Is that a fair ball? O'Leary gloved it over his shoulder. Has no play at first. Everybody moves up 90 feet. There's the first hit of the summer for Jason Wax, and the bases are loaded for Wareham with just 1 out in the 5th.
Wow. I mean, that was sky-high chop into the air. Definition of a Baltimore chop right there down the first baseline. O'Leary did a nice job to actually glove that ball over the shoulder.
Got that.
Yeah, I mean, a run was going to come home to score easily with Nowitzki over there.
Maybe 2 on a ball like that that's
True.
not hit so hard where the right fielder Garrity would have trouble getting in quickly to field it.
How about 15 combined hits so far in this game?
It's been an exciting one, and the Mariners are currently pitching a shutout. But here's some trouble for the first time tonight. Top of the order up, here's Foster Apple. Bases loaded, 1 out. First pitch. Apple smashes one into the ground towards right field. Julio Solier fields, throws to first in time for the second out. Nowitzki scores from third, an RBI 4-3 putout for Apple. And the Wareham Gatemen are on the board. It's now 4-1 Harwich.
Yeah, just making offense happen for the Gatemen. It's been a rarity so far this season, and you're not going to hit a ripping double into the gap every time. Sometimes an RBI ground out is exactly what you need, and that's what the Gatemen just picked up. They're sticking along in this game.
So now it's second and third, 2 out for Tony Lira. First pitch. Lira takes ball 1. Lira has been the best Wareham Gateman on the summer. He's now 6 for 20 at the plate. So an average right on the 300 mark. 2 out with 2 on in scoring position. The 1-0, that's down. Tony Leary gets ahead, 2-0.
Leary this past season hit .336 at Arizona.
This Gateman roster is loaded. It feels like every guy. Tennessee, Arizona, Vanderbilt. 2-0. Leary doesn't chase in the dirt. Now 3-0. I mean, Lira was a unanimous selection for the Big 12 all-freshman team. A Big 12 honorable mention. And that is not just freshmen. This is a guy competing with the best in one of the best baseball conferences. 3-0. Crushed, left center field. Kirikoff has a good beat on it, comes in and makes the running catch. A nice jump from the Harwich center fielder who won all MAC Defensive Player of the Year, and he's showing you why. Matashat comes in, gives up a run on 2 hits, but the Mariners limit the damage to 1 and keep a 3-run lead. We'll be back for the 6th inning on the Mariners Radio Network. Start of the 6th, brought to you by Netting Pros, Stadionic, the official netting and facility solutions partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. When it comes to netting and building iconic sports facilities, it's Netting Pros, Stadionic, making sports facilities iconic. 7-8-9 due up for the M. Sean O'Leary fouls off a first pitch fastball. To the new arm into the game, it's the right-hander Aiden Kitchings, the sophomore who goes to NC State, had a 6.23 ERA in 17 1/3 this school year. The 0-1, similar to the opening pitch. A foul ball straight back, O'Leary down 0-2. The Mariners added on another in the 5th inning, their last time up, but it could have been more. They left runners at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out and one already in. 0-2 skips in the dirt. O'Leary stays away. So it'll be O'Leary, James, and Kirikoff. Top of the order, and Solier looming if somebody can get on. Harwich leads Wareham 4-1. The Mariners have hit it well tonight. 8 hits early on. Swing and a ground ball into the hole that sneaks into left field for a base hit. Sean O'Leary already a pair of hits in this game. It's just the top of the 6th. And here come the M's again with a 3-run lead.
Now O'Leary again, opposite way, sneaks it through. A good piece of hitting for him. He's starting to pick it up here.
So now it'll be the Mariner catcher making his debut on the summer, Sean James. He got here about 3 or 4 days ago, saw him in BP, saw him in practice, but he gets the start tonight. Joins a trio of Harwich catchers. First pitch, James swings and misses, high fastball.
Yeah, that fastball is high in location, also high in velocity. Kitchings has a heater that tops out at 98 miles an hour.
0-1 the count. O'Leary off of first, nobody out. The pitch smashed right up the middle. It hits off of the pitcher Kitchings. He throws to second for 1. The relay to first. Oh my goodness, a double play. Off Kitchings' ankle, then to second. Garcia, the shortstop, throws out James. A 1-6-3 double play. And there goes the leadoff base runner and O'Leary. Now 2 outs with nobody on for the M's. Top 6.
Yeah, that was impressive right there. Just whizzed back to him up the middle, and he's taking a few extra beats right now, kicking some grass behind the mound. Kind of checking that he's still alive.
Took some serious focus from Kitchings. I mean, it could be painful, could result in an injury. Thank goodness it didn't. But to find the baseball, you don't know where it's deflecting when it hits you. You just feel it. Kirikoff, first pitch, swing and a miss. He tried to kill that sucker. 0-1. Kirikoff 0 for 2 today, has grounded out and struck out. 0-1. Kirikoff smashes one. Left center field towards the gap, but the left fielder Rogers was shifted in that direction, bends down, and makes the waist-high catch. That was a quick inning. Leadoff single from O'Leary spoiled on the James double play, and Kirikoff lines out. The Mariners still lead 4-1. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th on the Mariners Radio Network. Top of the 6th here in Wareham. The Mariners lead the Gatemen 4-1. Pardon me. Bottom of the 6th here in Wareham. Harwich with a 4-1 lead, and the heart of the order coming up for the Gatemen. Brian Matashat, the righty, out of the Harwich bullpen, back out there for his second inning of relief. Gave up 3 hits, 1 run in the 5th. Worked out of more trouble than the one that already scored. And the new Florida Atlantic transfer is dealing with Levi Clark, Drew Rogers, and Cohen Nicolai. Levi Clark is 0 for 2 tonight. He's had a tough time at the dish. A double play and a strikeout. First pitch. Clark stays away from a fastball low. 1 ball and no strikes. Alongside Milo Hoffman, I'm Luke Brenneman. Harwich hunting down win number 6 in a row in just their 7th game of the summer.
Hottest team on the Cape.
1-0. That's right there. Called a strike, belt high. And that evens the count at 1-1. The pitch mix for Matashat, fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. Doesn't really blow you away with the velocity. Fastball around 89, 90 miles an hour. 1-1. Hard hit line drive. Left field line. That's a fair ball. It caroms off the wall. Bussey still hasn't got to it. Throws it into the cutoff man, and a stand-up double to kick off the 6th for Levi Clark.
A very similar start to this inning than the last inning for Wareham. That last 5th inning was a leadoff single for Lincoln Garcia, but the hit was in the same exact spot. This one just traveled all the way to the wall.
There's a little bit more velocity behind that one, allowed it to get all the way down there in that left field corner. So the third base coach gathers Clark's equipment from his at-bat. He's now in scoring position with nobody out to kick off the 6th for the 1 for 2 left fielder Drew Rogers. Rogers, a product out of Georgia Tech. They were a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. First pitch fastball, strike at the knees. Rogers didn't offer, and Matashat gets ahead 0-1. Matashat trying to keep this a 4-1 Mariner lead. Now 15 combined hits, 9 for Harwich, 6 for the Gatemen. Pitch in the dirt, a nice block from James behind the plate. 1-1. This is the part of the order for Wareham, if there is a part that can do it. 3, 4, and 5 to start this inning. Clark after the leadoff double off of second base. 1-1. A little bit up and in. And now Matashat down in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Rogers, this school year at Georgia Tech, hit .266 for average, only started 19 games, hit 6 homers, 24 RBI. 2-1. That's too tall. Now 3-1 to Rogers. Rogers is 1 for 2 so far tonight, singled the center in his first at-bat in the 2nd. Most recently struck out in the 4th. Matashat steps off, calls time. Rogers started the season 0 for 9. Now he's 4 for 13 on the Cape. The pitch. Swing and a foul into the mitt. The count goes full.
That's a big fastball right there. Just get yourself back in this count for Matashat. You want to limit a big inning right now for the Gatemen. They've kind of been lingering, sort of like Orleans yesterday against Harwich. These bottom-of-the-barrel teams are sticking with Harwich for the most part.
3-2, swing and a miss at a nasty slider in the dirt. That's a huge first out. Matashat punches out the left fielder Rogers, and there's now 1 out with Clark staying put at second base here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, big strikeout right there on a nasty off-speed.
Matashat chose a good time for his first strikeout and now an inning and a third out of relief. But it's still plenty of work to do. Here's the catcher, Nicolai. First pitch, down low, ball 1. Steve Engler to our right on this first base side dugout. We're stationed directly adjacent to the dugout towards home plate. Said good pitch. I thought it was right there for a strike. Matashat and the Mariners don't get the call. 1-0. That is way down low. Skips in the dirt. Now 2-0.
Yeah, Engler talks after almost every pitch. Yelling from the dugout. Now we have a really good ear on it as well.
Wareham, hits have not been an issue tonight, but leaving guys on base have. They left 2 on in the 5th. And there's a fastball that's high as well. That's now 3 consecutive pitches outside of the zone here on the Gatemen catcher, Cohen Nikolai. Nikolai 2 for 13 on the Cape this summer. Matachat trying to find the zone, the 3-0. Fastball lands, called strike 1.
Yeah, big locator there, right there with the fastball. Matachat has been grinding these last few hitters, it seems. Not commanding early on in the count, but then he falls behind, back against the wall. He seems to get it going.
Matachat looks in, the 3-1. In the dirt, ball 4. The catcher, Nikolai, takes his base. That puts Gatemen on first and second with just 1 out, and will bring up the shortstop with a hit already tonight, Lincoln Garcia.
Yeah, that fastball really had no competitive nature to it. Scraped the dirt, as a matter of fact.
That's the first walk of the night issued by a Mariner pitcher. The catcher, Sean James, goes out to the rubber to have a word with Matachat, trying to get out of trouble here in the 6th. Clark off of second after the leadoff double. Nikolai now at first on the base on balls. And here's Garcia. 1 for 2 tonight, just 3 for 20 in Cape Cod. But he had a single to left in the 5th. That kicked off the inning, and that ball was laced to the pole side. A right-on-right matchup. Matachat v. Garcia. First pitch, ground ball, third base side. O'Leary has it. Peltier, throw to second, throw to first. Double play. Peltier to Solier to end the inning. The Mariners can do it all and suffocate the Gatemen rally here in the 6th. 4-1 Harwich. We're going to the 7th on the Mariners Radio Network.
If you're a Massachusetts resident and don't have a bachelor's, you could be attending 4Cs for free, all while preparing for careers that actually move you forward. Aviation maintenance, nursing, dental, funeral service, we've got it all. capecod.edu/free.
Heading to Nantucket this summer? Skip the traffic and take to the skies with Cape Air. With convenient flights from Norwood to Nantucket, you can start your vacation sooner without the hassle of traffic. That way you spend more time relaxing and less time getting there. Experience the Cape Air difference and book your next flight today at capeair.com. Let Cape Air be your wings in the Northeast.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Life can be full of surprises, but Eastern Propane and Oil is always just a call away. With a local team member available 24/7, we're always ready to support you when you need it. With an Eastern Propane and Oil technician on the way, your family's comfort is our priority. Our local team, over 500 strong, ensures your home is comfortable and warm. Eastern Propane and Oil, a local team with 24/7 service and delivery, ensuring comfort when you need it most.
With the Wareham Gatemen striking in the bottom of the 6th, the Mariners and Brian Matachat dial up a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play with runners on first and second. And the M's protect a 4-1 lead through 6. We're into the top of the 7th on the Mariners Radio Network. Alongside Milo Hoffman, I'm Luke Brenneman. Top of the order due up for the M's. It'll be Solier, Peltier, and Smolinski. All 3 have hits tonight. Peltier has 2. Smolinski's a perfect 3 for 3. And Solier's 1 for 2, but he reached on a walk and scored in the 5th. First pitch fastball in there, called strike 1. It's Aiden Kitchens for his second inning out of the bullpen. Came in the 6th. And put the Mariners down in order. A mid-90s fastball tops out at 98. Solier stays away from the off speed, and the count's even at 1-1.
Solier turned his back after that pitch and strutted the other way towards the Wareham dugout down the third base line. I like that take.
Kitching, working from the windup. The 1-1, Solier says absolutely not to a fastball past his eyes. 2-1. Kitching is fastball, changeup, slider, curveball. Fastball, that one came in at 94. The changeup, low 80s. The slider at 80. And the 2-1, a healthy cut and a miss. Solier evens the count with the swing and miss. 2-2 on the Mariners' second baseman. Good things have happened tonight with the Mariners top of the order leading off an inning. The 2-2, cold strike 3, up and in, right on the corner. Solier goes down on strikes for the second time tonight.
Yeah, that's a pitch up and in, kind of painted the zone there, and not much you can do in that situation. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap to the pitcher. Made a good pitch.
Here's the hero from last night, and he's brought the success into tonight on the road at Spillane Field. J.P. Peltier, 2 for 3. First pitch inside, ball 1. Peltier had the walk-off, 2-out RBI to win it against Orleans. A 3-2 win for the Mariners last night at White House Field. That was the 5th consecutive Harwich win. And the Ners lead 4-1 here in the 7th. The 1-0, nowhere near the zone, low and away, 2-0. I think Kentucky fans should really be excited about what they're going to get out of the Wright State transfer J.P. Peltier. He was the catalyst on the inning-ending double play to end the 6th. 2-0, swinging a foul into the catcher Nikolai, 2-1.
He's got that long stride in the batter's box when he hits. He takes a big, almost leap in the box and then strides towards the mound and then gears up for a big swing. But he also has the ability to hold it back and just punch a ball the other way. We've seen him hit a home run to deep left field this season. We've seen him slash singles to right field. I mean, he's done almost everything in a Mariner uniform so far. And then, like you just said, he has the defense as well. So just a complete guy right now for the M's.
1-1. Up and in, a nice take. Peltier gets ahead. A Dayton, Ohio kid, went to Chaminade Julienne High School in Dayton, then went to a nearby school, Wright State. Wright State has for a long time had a really solid baseball program. The 2-1 cut on and missed, evens the count at 2-2. But Peltier at Wright State put 10 over the fence, knocked in 54, hit .294 for average, stole 14 bases. Full count here. The pitch. Fouled away. We'll see another.
That was a good swing right there. Nice hack on a breaking ball, just a little bit out in front of it, trying to straighten it out.
Peltier steps out. Kitchens on the first base side of the rubber. Payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4. That's a fantastic take for Peltier. He's on base for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, Peltier has just been locked in at the plate. And that might be an understatement. I mean, he seems like he's in full control right now. And baseball is such a funny sport. You do one good thing, you get one base knock, you see something through the infield, and all of a sudden it just unleashes your entire season. And that's exactly what's happening right now for JP.
J.P. Peltier has also stolen 5 bases in that many attempts on the summer. Here's Smolinski, 3 for 3 so far tonight. Check on the runner at first. Peltier's back head first.
Now Peltier has 6 stolen bases this season, towards the top of the Mariner list.
Mariners had 8 hits last night in the 3-2 win over Orleans. They have 9 right now. Top 7, 1 on, 1 out, 4-1 lead. First pitch to Smolinski, caught reaching, swinging strike 1. Ty has a set of singles, 2 of which have been in RBI fashion. And the one sandwiched in between the 2 RBIs in the 1st and 5th inning came in the 3rd. He ended up coming around to score on a wild pitch. 0-1. Smolinski smashes one down the right field line. Apple and Wright has a beat on it. He makes the catch in front of the track for the 2nd out.
Ty caught that on the barrel. And Apple, good play. He read it out of the air and went to the glove side over there down the line. But Smolinski continues to smash the ball. Every single time he's up, it seems like he's going to make good contact.
All 3 of his singles were hit really hard, and Milo, mind I say, that was potentially the hardest one he's hit so far tonight.
And that's baseball.
So Peltier still at first base, now 2 down for the Mariners in the 7th. And here's the cleanup hitting first baseman out of Cincinnati, Quentin Coates. First pitch late on the fastball, back pick to Peltier. He's back safely.
I don't think I've ever seen so many pickoff attempts, back pick attempts. I mean, it's every game there are just a handful.
Well, the Mariners have now stolen 32 bases, and this is just their 7th game of the summer. So you got to keep an eye on them. 0-1. In the dirt.
You hear in the dugout, ball in the dirt, you hear, go ahead over there. Everyone's trying to jump on second base.
A good time to maybe test your luck, try and advance one into scoring position. The Mariners scored 2 in the first, then 1 in the third, then 1 in the fifth. They lead 4-1. 2-1 to Coates. Runner goes. High fastball. Throw down to second. Trickles into center field. And here comes Peltier into third base. J.P. Peltier is quietly becoming one of, if not the best base runner for the Mariners. He goes first to third on the poor throw from Nikolai behind the plate. And now a runner just 90 feet away in a 2-out spot for Coates.
Yeah, take advantage of those costly mistakes by Wareham. Their defense has really struggled. They had 4 errors in their last 2 games combined. So, error in every game actually this season except for 1. So, I mean, they're going to give you an extra base right there. You might as well take it.
The count's 2-1 on Quentin Coates. Peltier off a third. 2 outs in the 7th. The pitch. Coates checked his swing, and it was a nice stay away. The pitch was low. The count's now 3-1. The big right-hander, Kitchings, looks in, fires away, paints the outside corner to bring the count full. Coates took the pitch, started walking to first, and I think he kind of knew it was a strike, Milo, because he didn't look too surprised.
Sometimes you try to convince the umpire that it's a ball, but in the back of his head he knew he might be digging back in.
Kitchings, payoff pitch. Coates, swing and a miss, strike 3. Aiden Kitchings went to the fastball. That's his second strikeout out of the pen, the second in the 7th inning, and the Mariners leave a runner at third base after the Peltier walk. Harwich leads 4-1. Time to stretch in the 7th inning on the Mariners Radio Network.
Try it, then buy it. Rent a new cat for up to 90 days. Then apply 100% of the rental cost to the purchase and save. The Milton Cat Rent to Purchase offer. Try it, then buy it. Go to miltoncat.com/RPO.
Reader's Hardwood Supply is a candy store for wood, whether you're a professional or an amateur. Reader's Hardwood Supply carries over 70 species of both domestic and imported lumber from around the world, displayed in over 300 self-serve bins for your selection. So for your next project, make it your masterpiece with stock from Reader's Hardwood Supply. The woods of the world are here at Reader's Hardwood Supply.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group. Protecting the possible.
The second Mariners call to the bullpen comes in the 7th tonight, and it's the right-hander out of Siena, Ryan Taff. Taff has pitched once on the summer, the native of Del Mar, New York. Went from Fairfield to now Siena, and he's coming off a marvelous 2026 season, a 3.82 ERA and 37 2/3 innings of action. And he's dealing with a Gatemen team who's been striking as of late, but still trail 4-1 to the Mariners. It's 7, 8, and 9 due up. Nowitzki takes strike 1. Milo Hoffman and Luke Brenneman here with you on Saturday night in Wareham. The 0-1's a fastball high, and the count's even at a ball and a strike.
beautiful Saturday night. Look at those clouds out in center field. I mean, it's gorgeous. After the showers earlier today. That's right, there was rain, but it was still sunny, a rainbow.
1-1, not challenging, breaking pitch. Didn't really break, just left it outside on the left-handed hitter, Nate Nowitzki. The bottom of the order has been a good sign for manager Ryan Smythe and the Gatemen tonight. Currently 2 for 6 at the plate as the 2-1 lands, called strike 2. Nowitzki, Elam, and Wax come into tonight a whopping 3 for 40 at the plate. And I think 2 for 6. 3 guys have reached base. Nowitzki reached on an error. 2-2 pitch in the dirt. Nowitzki stays away, and the count goes full to kick off the 7th.
And the leadoff man has reached base in back-to-back innings for Wareham, so trying to keep that going. Seems like every inning they're kind of competitive and keeping with it. Now a little bit of confusion right now down the third base line. A chatter between umpire McHugh and Smythe, the Wareham manager.
So now it will be a meeting with the 3 umpires in the middle of the infield grass.
This happens every game.
Robert McHugh, the crew chief, is doing all the talking, and it's time for our Harwich Mariners Trident Trivia answer of the day. We asked the question when the Mariners' general manager, Mary Henderson, was inducted into the Cape League Hall of Fame, and the correct answer is 2023. Milo said 2022, so he doesn't know anything about his boss.
Not good.
Not good, Milo. She's not going to sign your next paycheck.
Damn it.
All right, the count's full. It's Nate Nowitzki v. the new reliever, Ryan Taft. Payoff pitch. Fought off foul. A nice effort from the second baseman, Nowitzki. He reached his hands out there and did anything and everything that he could to stay alive. He does. We'll see another payoff.
Nice battle up there. And the at-bats really haven't been too bad from Wareham today. I mean, this is the worst offensive team.
Another payoff. Fouled away. That one in on the handle. Goes over the press box. This is a long at-bat. That was the 7th pitch. Here comes number 8. Nowitzki, the 5'11 redshirt sophomore who goes to the University of Arizona. California kid. 3-2 again. Swing and a miss. Fastball right by him. A swinging strike 3.
Now, what a battle right there from Taft on the hill. You know, you talk about battling in the box if you're a hitter, because that's, you know, what most people talk about when you say go battle up there, but Taft battled there too and came back at him with a fastball, competitive, good location, just right on by.
Here's Cade Elam, the third baseman. He's 1 for 2 so far tonight, got his first hit on the Cape. First pitch, fastball near his head, ball 1. So the first time that Taft appeared on the Cape was back on the 16th of the month. Harwich beat Katuitt 11-8. That was on Tuesday this week. Taft went an inning of no-hit, no-run baseball, struck out 2, walked 1. He gets back in the count with a foul ball from Elam, and then the count is 1-1. The trio of Harwich pitchers tonight was the starter Jacob Schultz, 4 innings of 2-hit scoreless baseball. Then Matsu Chat comes in for 2 innings of 4-hit, 1-run ball. And there's 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Taft out there. 1-1. Fastball down. The hitter Elam gets ahead 2-1. And Milo mentioning Wareham's struggle. I mean, it's not just rubbing it in. Yes, they have a 1-5 record, but it has truly been poor at the plate this summer. 2-1. Slicing foul. Counts even at 2-2. Talked about their 13 runs scored now into the 7th game. Make that 14 runs as the Mariners lead 4-1. But on base percentage at .310, slugging percentage at .271, the batting average sub 200, dead last at .199. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Taft had him reaching in the dirt at the breaking ball, and back-to-back punch-outs put 2 away in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, really nice breaking ball right there from Taft on the hill. And yeah, you talked about it. That was all dirt right there, and a little sword swing from Elam in the box. Last year, Taft had 32 strikeouts, so he does have the strikeout stuff, and just 37 innings work.
Here's the 9-hole hitter, Jason Wax. like Elam, who just struck out. Wax has his first hit of the summer tonight and now 15 plate appearances. First pitch called strike one. 2 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 7th. The Mariners lead the Gatemen 4-1, trying to make it 6 in a row in the first 2 weeks of the Cape Cod Baseball League summer. The 0-1 fouled away. And before you can blink, strikeout. Taff ahead here of Jason Wax, 0-2. We haven't seen every team on the Cape yet, Milo,
No.
but it would be hard to believe that other teams have had the success in shutdown arms with a lead going into the final couple innings that the Mariners have had out of the bullpen. 0-2 pitch. That hit him right off the shin guard. And a breaking pitch that got away from the right-hander Taff puts a runner aboard in Wax with 2 outs in the 7th.
Yeah, it's kind of a backbreaker right there for Taff. You're cruising, your head in the count, and then you just spin one in off of the shin right there of Wax. And so now back to the top of the lineup. Gatemen trying to linger some more.
So Wax at first base. The lineup turns over for the leadoff hitter and right fielder Foster Apple. Apple 0 for 3 tonight. Check on the runner at first. A nice move, but the runner's back with a dive. Apple has the lone RBI for the Gatemen. That came in the 5th inning. It was a 4-3 fielder's choice with the bases loaded. Scored Nate Nowitzki. Wareham needs more. Another check on the runner. Nothing doing. Harwich trying to get out of here with a win and set up what could be the matchup of the summer. Or it is the matchup of the summer tomorrow night against YD. First pitch. Fouled straight back over the press box. All the youngsters go on the chase into the parking lot. The count's 0-1 on Apple.
Yeah, YD won again tonight against Bourne. So back in the win column after their loss yesterday. Now 6-1 are the Red Sox.
Harwich trying to get to that same point. Their lone loss came to the Red Sox. The 0-1. Ground ball, third base side. It's gloved on the backhand by Smolinski. Running throw, absolutely. Ty Smolinski is unbelievably smooth at short. And the Mariners strand a 2-out hit batsman and keep it a 4-1 game. We're going to the 8th on the Mariners Radio Network.
It's the start of the 8th inning here at Spillane Field, and the Mariners hold a 4-1 lead over the Wareham Gatemen. And let's check in on some scores across the Cape presented by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Chatham beat Falmouth, or is beating Falmouth right now in the top of the 5th. Hyannis beat Katuitt earlier in the day 3-2. Orleans fell to Brewster 4-3, and YD took down Bourne 4-2 earlier in the day. So YD 6-1 this season. Mariners trying to improve to 6-1 with a win here. Charlie Bussey leads off the top of the 8th. Pitch. Fastball popped high in the air, right side, foul out of play. And the count is 0-1 on the Harwich left fielder.
How about Chatham, though, Milo? Up 5-0 on Falmouth, a team north of 500. Chatham eyeing down their third consecutive win after starting 0-4.
Chatham's getting hot. Pitch. Breaking ball nubbed down the first baseline. That'll stay fair. Clark makes the play, runs to the bag in time. And that's the first out here in the top of the 8th. That was such a weird piece of contact off the bat. Probably an exit velo of 30 miles an hour or so. Some weird spin on it, but Clark dealt with it nicely, and now it's Ryan Garrity for the Mariners.
Last thing I'll touch on, because it has a lot to do with the matchup tomorrow night. YD's win over Bourne. How about just 4 hits good for their 4 runs? Bourne 8 hits.
Wow.
Only 2 runs.
YD is real efficient, you could say that.
Can manufacture runs.
Pitch. Swinging a foul right back, and it's 0-1 on Garrity.
How about some Sunday night baseball, though?
Tomorrow night, YD makes the trip to White House Field for the first time this season. On opening day, the Mariners lost to the Red Sox. That was at Red Wilson Field. Here's the pitch from Kitchings. Downstairs and away on Garrity. So the count's now 1-1. Garrity so far today 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts and a flyout. Came into the day hitting 133 on the season. Here's the pitch. Fastball, skied in the air, left side. Stays in the infield, drifts into foul territory. Elam, the third baseman, makes the catch. And there's 2 quick outs. So Ryan Garrity 0 for 4 today, and it's up to Sean O'Leary to keep this frame going for the Mariners. More successful day for the first baseman of Harwich. 2 singles. Sprinkle in a strikeout in between. 2 for 3 on the day. He taps it foul right near us here down the first baseline. And it's 0-1.
Mariners now 0 for their last 8 at the plate, Milo. And it was kind of something we saw in the Orleans game when they were able to score early and get ahead. Not that they shut it down offensively, but not every game can be 13-zip like Falmouth.
1 bounces in the dirt, and the count is 1-1.
However, when you do start looking into the stats a little bit, 9 hits as a team, knowing how well the Mariners have done with runners on and in scoring position this season, you would maybe expect a couple more to cross.
1-1. Fastball called a strike on the outside corner. It looked like O'Leary kind of half went, and the home plate umpire Robert McHugh took an extra pause and then called the strike. So now the count is 1-2, and the Mariners are on the verge of going down real quickly here in the 8th. Kitching set at the belt. Here's the pitch. Swinging a high fly ball to center, but playable. Wax is there, comes in a few steps, and he makes the grab, and the Mariners go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th. Harwich still on top 4-1 as we head to the home half here on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Back here at Spillane Field as we head to the bottom of the 8th, and the Mariners are still on top 4-1 over Wareham, and it's still Ryan Taff on the hill for Harwich in his second inning of work out of the bullpen. In the last frame, he worked a nice inning. He faced 4 batters. Only a hit by pitch was the lone blemish. So trying to hold down this Wareham Gatemen lineup for 2 more innings, and the Mariners are trying to pick up their 6th straight victory. We were talking about earlier, YD won today, so they are now 6-1. Mariners trying to keep pace with the Red Sox. Tony Lear, the DH, leads off in the inning. Taft comes set, spins and fires. Breaking ball misses just down low, and the count is 1-0.
And it just feels like the way the Mariners have been winning, Milo, they've kind of come out of nowhere since the opening day loss, where you start standings watching night in and night out.
Yeah, and, so early in the season, 1-0 was cut on and missed, and the count's 1-1 on Lyra. It's so hard not to look at the standings and get excited about the teams that might be the best and the teams that might not be. 1-1. Breaking ball downstairs, and the count's 2-1 on Lyra. He was hit by a pitch in the first, grounded out to short in the 3rd inning, and then lined out sharply to center back in the 5th. Came into the day hitting .316, the best mark in the Gatemen lineup. 2-1. That catches the upper half of the zone, and the count's 2-2.
But since YD has the tiebreaker with identical records, hoping the Mariners can win tonight, they've set the pace. They are the pace of the league. The only other team that has the similar record even coming into tonight.
2-2 fouled back behind, and the count is still 2-2.
Are the Mariners. And it seems like if Harwich, the way they've been going on this massive win streak, if they can win tomorrow night at home, then the Mariners will be the pace setters for the rest of the league, East or West divisions.
Yeah. 2 best records in the Cape. 2-2. Fastball ripped in the air, shallow right center field. Kirikov comes in, diving stop by Garrity, and he made the play. Oh, Ryan Garrity out and right. He cut off the center fielder Kirikov, laid out, and made the catch.
This outfield is just as special as the credit we give night in and night out to the infield. I mean, this team is really starting to look like they are this good, Milo. I mean, whether it was the double play from Peltier to get out of the only trouble in the game, or the diving play that made SportsCenter top 10 again from Colin Larson last night.
Pitch fouled back to Lee Clark, the first baseman, and it's 0-1. Yeah, how about that? Another SportsCenter top 10 play by the Mariners.
It just seems like it's casual that Garrity made that play. Sure, that's what the M's do defensively.
2 SportsCenter top 10 plays so far this season for the Mariners. There's the 0-1 from Taft. Pitch. Fastball fouled back. And that's right in front of us. Wow, that hit the screen and circled all the way around.
It's like a hockey puck.
Here to us, exactly. Wrap it around. Counts 0-2 quickly now on Clark. Mariners on top 4-1 over the Gatemen here in the bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back. I'll do the 0-2 again. Clark so far today is 1 for 3. He doubled his last time up to start the 6th. Lights on here at Spillane Field. Gatemen trying to pick up a win. It would be their 2nd of the season. 0-2. Downstairs in the dirt. And the count's 1-2.
I like what I've seen from Taft out of the bullpen now in an inning and a third, Milo. He's thrown a lot of strikes. He struck out the first 2 since then, has really incorporated soft contact, getting the defense involved. The Mariners, a big shift here on the right-handed hitter.
1-2. Fastball way upstairs. The count's 2-2, that's right. 3 infielders playing to the left side of the second base bag. You've got the third baseman Peltier, Ty Smolinski, the shortstop, and then Julio Solier is shaded to the left, near in the outfield grass. Pitch. Swung on, ripped to right, base hit. Levi Clark jumped all over that pitch. So it's a 1-out single for the Gatemen here in the 8th.
Yeah, these guys are just so talented out here, Milo, where if you throw a fastball high, they're going to get there. And if they do, it's going to be hit really hard. That was a good piece of hitting from Clark to actually beat the shift. They had him shifted to hit it to the left side of the infield. He kind of just shoves one on a line drive in between the first and second base bags, and it's an easy knock. But The Gatemen need plenty more than just singles right now.
Trying to spark a rally, and it's up to Drew Rogers, the left fielder, to keep the line moving. Taft comes set. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses inside. Counts 1-0 on Rogers. Singled in the second, and a pair of strikeouts, one in the fourth and one in the sixth. Gatemen trail the Mariners 4-1 in the bottom of the eighth. Clark takes his lead off of first, and a looping throw check over to first base, not nearly in time.
I think I smell another double play ball.
And the Mariners have had a couple double play balls today. A real nifty one turned a few innings ago, started by the third baseman Peltier. Here's the 1-0. Curveball in the dirt. The count's 2-0. We were talking yesterday about double plays and how there haven't been too many this season, but tonight the Mariners have turned a couple. And a double play right here would get him out of the inning and avoid any trouble. Taft comes set, fires home. Fastball upstairs. So Ryan Taft losing a bit of control here in the eighth. Tying run for the Gatemen is on deck in the form of Cohen Nicolai. 3-0's the count. Taft gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Fastball ripped on the ground, third base side. Peltier stops. Only throw to first. Fires, and it's low. It gets by the first baseman O'Leary. Runners advance to third. That's Clark. And Rogers is safe at first base, so it looked like it was going to be another sparkler double play turned by Peltier. But instead, the Gatemen now have the corners occupied with just one gone.
That should most likely be an infield hit. It was a miracle that Peltier even got to it on the dive, and then he got up. It was high IQ by Peltier to know that the throw and only play that could have possibly been made was to first base. And I think it was worth throwing it. Some of them you never have a chance, so you should probably eat it to avoid an errant throw. However, if you are going to try and rifle it over, you want to make sure it doesn't squirt away. O'Leary put his entire body in front of it, got both feet off the bag, and he still couldn't really keep it in front. And out comes the pitching coach, Hunter Dilworth.
And Dilworth out of the dugout. All of the infield is talking on the mound right now. A big moment in this ball game. Wareham has been there the whole time. They've been lingering. Harwich has had the lead throughout the entirety of the game. They scored 2 in the first, 1 in the third, and another run in the fifth. But Wareham scored in the fifth via a fielder's choice ground out. But it's felt like they've been there the whole time, down just 3 runs. Kind of shades of yesterday's game between Harwich and Orleans. The Mariners went up 2-0, and Orleans all of a sudden tied the game. Luckily, the Mariners clutched up in the end via J.P. Peltier walk-off single. Now it's up to Ryan Taft to get out of this jam. Middle infield at double play depth. O'Leary, the first baseman, is holding on the runner Rogers over at first. The hitter's Cohen Nicolai. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. A big breaking ball down low. And the count's 0-1.
Big at-bat here, because if Nicolai can find a gap, you're maybe talking about a 1-run game with the speed over there at first base.
Nicolai so far today is 1 for 2, a single and a walk. Here's the 0-1 offering. Fastball cut on and missed. 0-2. And Ryan Taft has gone back to that fastball a few times. It has some zip tonight. He's ahead in the count, 0-2. Gatemen have runners on the corners. Harwich on top, 4-1 here in the bottom of the eighth. Lights on at Spillane Field on a beautiful Saturday night. Check back to first, not in time.
So the Mariners will keep the infield back. A, for the double play. B, the runner at third doesn't necessarily matter all too much with the 3-run lead here in the eighth. But I would like to see Taft just go right after him here with this 2-strike pitch.
1-2. Curveball hit up the middle, off of Taft's glove, trickles to Solier, the second baseman, off-balance throw to first in time. Clark comes home to score on the play. That ball blistered off of Taft's legs, and Steve Englert, the Harwich Mariner manager, is quickly out of the dugout to check on his pitcher.
Ball was hit hard.
Real hard off the leg of Taft, and he's holding his left knee area. It seemed like the back of the leg, perhaps, and Englert was pretty much hopping out of the dugout the second that ball was hit in play.
Well, Taft went down right as it happened, and then by the end of the play, I was watching Solier throw the runner out at first. He got back up and was trying to walk it off, which was a good sign. And since then, he's now bent over, hands on the knees on the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, so Taft trying to get set on the mound. Hope everything is all right with the Mariner pitcher. It was a nice play by Solier to make the play and stay concentrated, and he fired to first in time. The run did come home to score, though, so now it's 4-2 Harwich over the Gatemen here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mariners on the road today, but coming up, a few big-time home battles at White House Field. If you got the chance, make sure to go to the ballpark. If not, tune in to our TV broadcast at versus YD on June 21st. That's tomorrow. Then Wareham on the 24th at 6:30, and against Bourne on June 27th. So
some good teams in there, sandwiched around the Gatemen. I mean, Bourne, they're off and rolling, played YD tough. They're 3-2-2 now with a pair of ties, and they're the defending champions, so you got to respect them no matter what.
So here's Lincoln Garcia with Rogers off of second base. Harwich 4-2. Here's Taft's delivery. Fastball called a strike on the inside corner. So 0-1 on Garcia. The big, tall shortstop stands at 6'5", 220 pounds. Couple ground outs today and a single, 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. Fastball fouled right back. The count's now 0-2. Taft, after getting hit by a line drive in the last batter, is still battling out there on the mound. Englert hopped out of the dugout, made sure his pitcher was all good, and the big righty's trying to seal the deal here in the 8th. 4-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled down the right field line. Garcia came into the day hitting just .111 with 6 strikeouts. Big moment here. Taft steps foot on the mound. Dangles out his right arm with his high socks. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Ryan Taft strands the runner on second base, and a big strikeout for the big righty. After getting plunked by a line drive on the right leg, he battles through, and we head to the 9th. The Gatemen do pick up a run, though. Now 4-2 Harwich on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. We head to the 9th here at Spillane Field. The Mariners on top of the Gatemen 4-2. New pitcher on the hill for the Gatemen. It's Andrew Koshi out of Maryland. A righty deals home. Chopped on the ground, third base side. Elam is there, slings to first in time. And that's a quick out here for Koshi and the Gatemen in the top of the 9th. That ground out was by Sean James, the Mariners catcher.
James Ofer, it looks to be, in his Mariner debut, but you got to go back to that double play in the 6th inning. He scorched one up the middle that just ricocheted off the reliever at the time, Aiden Kitchens, and turned into a double play. That had eyes on a first hit as a Mariner and kind of got robbed by some bad luck.
That's right. 4-2 Harwich on top. Here's the hitter, Micah Kirchhoff. He looks at a strike, and it's 0-1. A little sidearm sling delivery from Koshi. Peers in for the sign. Now he gets it. Deals to Kirchhoff. Inside, and the count's 1-1. Micah so far today 0 for 3. A ground out, a strikeout, and a line out to left field. Trying to tack on some insurance for the Mariners here. Pitch. Swung on and popped up behind the plate, foul. Not too far from us here, and a fan tried to make a catch in the stands. He's shaking off his hand now. He tried to track it all the way through the sky. He couldn't make the play in the end, though. 1-2's the count on Kirchhoff as Koshi steps on the mound. Here's the delivery. Swung on, a chopper, slow roller, back to the pitcher, Koshi. He fields and tags Kirchhoff, and then Kirchhoff goes flying down the right field line, and they high-five after that. Kirchhoff looked like he was pushed, almost like a football play right there.
I mean, a full barrel roll somersault. He popped right up. Kirchhoff is so athletic. And Koshi ran him down that time, so you got to give credit to the right-hander out of Maryland. That was a good play by Koshi. He picked up the ball and then realized that nobody was covering the bag. I don't know if there was a miscommunication with Levi Clark over there at first, but Koshi just took matters into his own hands and ran down the speed of Kirchhoff for the second out.
You could see the moment that he realized he was going to have to make this tag and sort of kicked it into gear. So here's the top of the Mariner lineup with Julio Solier. Pitch to him. Is inside. Counts 1-0 on Julio. He has a single, a strikeout, a walk, and another strikeout. Scored twice so far today for the Mariners. 1-0. Here's the offering. Solier takes a strike, and it's now 1-1. 4-2 Mariners here in the top of the 9th. 2 outs. Koshi trying to work a quick 1-2-3 frame. Hobbles on the mound, now comes set. Fires home. Downstairs, Solier crouched with that breaking ball. Now it's 2-1. Takes a long stare down his barrel, taps it a few times on home plate, and digs into the righty box. 2-1's the count. Here's Koshi's pitch. Just inside, Solier shakes his head, and the count's 3-1.
Thought that pitch was right there, but Solier continues to show off his eye, Milo. I would think he's geared up, ready for something in this 3-1 count.
Hitter's count. Here's the pitch. Swung on, a nubbler down the first baseline, backhanded by Clark. Pitches to the covering Koshi in time, and that does it. So a 1-2-3 frame for the Gatemen. They trail 4-2 to the Mariners. Can Harwich lock up their 6th straight victory? Well, you'll just have to stay tuned to find out right here on the Mariners Radio Network. We go to the bottom of the ninth here at Spillane Field, and the Mariners trying to lock up their 6th straight victory as Harwich holds a 4-2 lead over the Wareham Gatemen. And this broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. It's Peyton Soski on the mound for the Mariners trying to lock up the save. He'll deal to 7, 8, and 9 in the Gatemen lineup, starting with Nate Nowitzki, the second baseman. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside, and the count's 1-0 on Nowitzki. So far today, he's 0 for 3, a flyout, a ground out, and a strikeout. Soski comes set at the letters. Fires home. Fastball outside, and the count's 2-0.
Soski appeared and got beat up a little bit after back-to-back strikeouts in the Katuitt game. He gave up 5 consecutive hits, 3 runs.
Trying to bounce back here at Spillane Field. 2-0. Swung on and fouled right back. And the count is now 2-1. Nowitzki came into the day hitting .250 with 3 walks. A walk right here would do wonders for this Gateman team. Soski, the tall right-handed pitcher, gets the sign from Jones. Here's the pitch. That catches the outside corner for a strike, and the count is 2-2. It's been an excellent crowd all day here in Wareham. Harwich trying to lock up the road victory. Soski steps back on the hill. Wobbles a few times, now settles. 2-2. Downstairs in the dirt, and the count's full. Takes a deep breath on the mound. Big pitch on its way. 3-2's the count. Here's the offering. Swinging a foul right back, and they'll do it again.
You got to keep going after him. You really don't want any of these at-bats, especially with nobody on and a 2-run lead in the ninth, to get to a 3-ball count, because it brings in the possibility of making a slim mistake and not hitting the zone, and the tying runs get an at-bat. So continue to pound the zone.
Payoff pitch. Here it is. Swung on and laced down the left field line, foul. And the count is still full on Nowitzki. He's battling up there. It's been a consistent theme all night. The Gatemen are going to battle as much as their offense has struggled so far this season. Just 14 runs. That's the bottom mark in the Cape Cod Baseball League. They do put competitive at-bats together, and right now would be a perfect time for another. Payoff pitch on its way from Soski. Inside, appeal to third. He did not go, says Carrico, the third base umpire. And now the leadoff man is aboard for the Gatemen, and therefore the tying run is up.
Not a good time for just the second Mariner walk of the night. Soski walks the first guy that he sees here in the ninth, and here comes the tying run. Still at the bottom of the order. Remember, Elam, who's up now, and then Wax, who's on deck, came into the matchup tonight 0 for the first 28 combined on the Cape.
It looks like it's going to be a pinch hitter for Wareham and Dylan Dubovic. Here's the pitch from Soski. That's a strike, and the count's 0-1. Dylan Dubovic goes to Miami, getting his first action of the night here. Started yesterday against Hyannis. He started most of the games this season. Didn't start tonight, though. 0-1. Downstairs, and the count is now 1-1.
Soski, we saw this a little bit in his first outing. He gets ahead pretty well because he can pump that fastball in there mid to high 90s, and then he does kind of start nibbling a little bit on the outer portions of the zone. Let's see if he can just attack tonight and finish the job for the save.
Here's his pitch to Dubovic. Swung on and hit to left field shallow. Bussey charges in, doesn't have a play. It bounces in front of him. A base hit for the pinch hitter Dubovic. And just like that, he is the tying run over at first base. Still nobody out in the bottom of the ninth.
Looks like a couple guys just got up and moving in the Mariner bullpen.
The Mariner bullpen is going to be active now. Back-to-back nights with nail-biting finishes here for the Mariners. And now it's Jason Wax, the center fielder for Wareham. the number 9 hitter in the lineup with the top of the order looming. Runners on first and second for Wareham. Soski comes set. Mariners up 4-2. Here's the pitch. Fastball chopped on the ground, right side of the infield, could be 2. Solier fields, fires the second one, onto first, not in time. Well, it could have been a big double play for the Mariners. Instead, just 1 out. They did get the force at second, so Elam is out. Nowitzki advances to third on the play, and Wax is safe at first.
Ground ball right side is kind of what you're looking for in that situation if you're Wax, and I'm surprised for a guy who came into tonight 0 for 15. They didn't try and have him bunt, but it was almost as good as a bunt. But Solier, what a play to get that runner at second base. So now runners at the corners, but only 1 in scoring position.
Pitch to Apple. Inside, and the count's 1-0 on the Wareham leadoff man. He is 0 for 4 so far today. This would be a big moment for his first knock. Harwich on top, 4-2 here over the Gatemen. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Fastball inside, and the count's 2-0.
Can't walk this guy because Lira, who's on deck, has been the best hitter all summer for the Gatemen and has really been a bright spot in a black hole of a team. Double play ball in effect. You have the run at third that doesn't really matter. Ners up by 2. Double play depth to end the game.
2-0, here it is. Upstairs. The count is now 3-0 on Foster Apple. And like Luke just said, Tony Lira on deck, the DH, the Gatemen's best hitter in their lineup. You want to try to avoid facing him with the bases loaded. Middle of the infield at double play depth. O'Leary, the first baseman, is holding on. Wax over there. Soski steps off the mound for a brief moment, trying to reset himself. Stares into his all-black mitt. Steps back on the rubber. Harwich on top, 4-2 here, bottom 9. Gatemen trying to pick up their second win of the season. Here's the pitch home. Breaking ball misses outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Wareham here in the bottom of the 9th with 1 gone.
And you come into a game that's a 2-run game in the 9th inning, and you walk 2 and give up a hit. You can live with the blue pit, but the control has just got to be there when the margins are this thin. And here we go, Milo, 4-2. They're loaded. Double play ball can still end the game. Any out, you will 1,000% trade a run for.
Yeah,
but with just 1 out, Wareham, you could say, has their backs against the wall trailing by 2, but if Lira does what he's done more than anybody else in this Gateman lineup throughout the course of this 7-game summer now, is get a base hit, this game could not only be tied, but the Gatemen would be set up to win it here in the 9th.
Now you do have the force at home, so if it feels right, you could fire home, but of course you're going to try to turn 2. Let's see what the setup is for the Mariner infield. Middle is back, and so are the corners. Oh, now it's the designated hitter, Tony Lira. Bases loaded for Wareham here. Harwich on top, 4-2, bottom of the 9th. Mariners trying to hold on for their 6th straight win. Soski comes set. Peers in, fires home. Fastball outside. And the count's 1-0 on Lira.
Simply nowhere to put him. You have just got to trust your stuff here and go right after him if you're Soski.
He's 0 for 3 so far today. Did reach back in the first via hit by pitch. 1-0 on its way. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Big breaking ball. And the count is 1-1.
Interesting choice there. You go back to the breaking ball. Typically, you go to the fastball if you're really trying to find the zone. And after falling behind 1-0, Soski needed to find it. It may tell you that he's having more trouble locating the heater than anything else.
Comes set. Ready. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, chopped up the middle, through for a base hit into center field. Nowitzki comes home to score. Right behind him is Wax. He touches home, and we've got a tie ball game here in the bottom of the 9th. 4-4's the score. It's a 2 RBI single for Tony Lira. And just like that, out of nowhere, Wareham has come back here in the 9th inning and cashed in.
Walks will haunt you. And you walk 2 in the 9th, up by 2. They're going to come back to haunt you.
Foster Apple up to second base, and now the Gatemen trying to win it. Levi Clark, the first baseman, digs into the ready box. Saskia fires home. Breaking ball in the dirt. Counts 1-0. Levi Clark today is 2 for 4. Last 2 times up have been successful. A double in the 6th and a single in the 8th. Trying to be the hero here for the Gatemen. 1-0. Way upstairs, and it hit him. It hit Levi Clark on the back. So now the bases are loaded for the Gatemen once again, and the Mariners are on the brink of disaster here at Spillane Field.
Ay, ay, ay.
Mariners came into the inning up 4-2. It was a leadoff walk to Nowitzki, a single by Dubovnik, the pinch hitter. Wax fielder's choice. Apple walked. Lira just the 2 RBI single to tie it up. And now the Gatemen are a sac fly away from winning this game. The hitter's Drew Rogers. Pitch. Upstairs. And the count is 1-0. Pinch hitter for Rogers. It's R.J. Hamilton, that is. Couple check swings in the righty box, and now Steve Englert, the manager for the Mariners, is out of the dugout, points towards the bullpen, and that's going to do it for Soski. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So Englert out on the mound. He already made the call, and a new pitcher coming on for Harwich. We'll be right back on the Mariners Radio Network now, all tied up at 4 apiece. Back here at Spillane Field, still in the bottom of the 9th, bases loaded for the Gatemen, and the new pitcher on the hill for Harwich is Jason Finkelstein, out of Babson College, making his first appearance with the Mariners this season. Hails from Walpole, Massachusetts, the righty on the mound, trying to work out of this in a Houdini act to try to preserve this game for the Mariners and force extra innings. Right now tied up once again at 4 apiece. In the bottom of the 9th. Mariners held a 4-2 lead heading into this inning, and then a 2 RBI single from Tony Lira, the DH for the Gatemen, got the job done to tie it up.
So now there's 5 infielders for Harwich. There's only 2 guys in the outfield, and that's Cade Kurland out of Florida. He got here today and was activated this morning.
Wow, what a first appearance for Kurland here with the Mariners. He's got a smile on his face. Lines up right side of the infield. 5 infielders. Here's the pitch. Fastball downstairs to Hamilton. And the count is 2-0.
Yeah, remember this count opened up 1-0 before the bullpen changed from Soski to Finkelstein.
Finkelstein peers in for the sign. Comes set at the belt. Fires home. Swung on, a nubber foul down the right field line.
Good
The count's
pitch.
2-1. Yeah, real good pitch right there. In on the hands.
And that's just a really nice fight from Hamilton, just to not put that ball in play, because that type of ball in play is an out for the Mariners.
Fans on their feet here at Spillane Field, sniffing a Gatemen win. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, and the count is 3-1. And the Gatemen are one ball away from walking off Harwich.
Gotta throw a strike.
The Mariners came in 5-1. The Gatemen came in 1-5. 5 infielders for Harwich. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss. 3-2, a fastball right on by R.J. Hamilton.
Wareham's already got the Gatorade ice bath being held up in the dugout right now. The cameras are out. They think they've got this one.
It's been a tough year so far for Wareham. Payoff pitch on its way. Here it is. Swung on, a chopper, third base side, Peltier Field, fires home, got him. They got the force out at home. A big second out in this inning for the Mariners. The bases are still loaded, but there's 2 gone now in the bottom of the 9th.
Huge out, and a really high IQ play again by Peltier at third. He actually could have tagged on third and thrown across the diamond potentially for a double play to end the inning, but the speed of the pinch hitter R.J. Hamilton, he gets up the line with the best of them, probably the fastest guy that was left on the bench for Wareham. So you take the guaranteed out, you keep your chances alive with now 2 down and the bases loaded in the 9th.
So now it's Cohen Nikolai, the catcher, trying to be the hero. Here's the pitch. Outside, and the count is 1-0.
A lot of Mariners making their debut tonight in a very intense 9-inning. Could be more thriller. You got Sean James behind the plate. Curlin now comes back to the outfield.
Bases loaded, tied up at 4 apiece. Here's the pitch from Finkelstein. Upstairs, the count is 2-0. Last at-bat, Finkelstein fell behind 3-1, fought back, and forced the grounder to third. Peltier made the good throw home. Bases loaded for the Gatemen. Tied up at 4 apiece, bottom 9. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Count is 2-1. Cohen Nikolai so far today is 1 for 3. A single and a walk, his 2 times aboard. Lira off of third, Clark off of second, Hamilton off of first. There's the pitch. Downstairs. The count is 3 balls and 1 strike on the hitter, Cohen Nikolai. Gatemen can feel so close to their 2nd win of the season. Harwich trying to avoid disaster. Finkelstein comes set. 3-1 pitch. Swung on and hit to deep right center field. Kirikov back on the track, looks up, and that ball is gone. A walk-off grand slam for Cohen Nikolai. The lights flash here at Spillane Field. Disaster for the Mariners. And the Gatemen win. 8-4 the final. They mob Nikolai at home. I don't believe what I've just seen.
I mean, I thought this game may have ended on a ground ball up the middle or ball 4. Maybe not a grand slam, but starting to see some parity in this league, Milo. And, you know, you can appreciate parity and appreciate the talent that this league has to offer. But a loss like tonight, inexcusable for the M's. You can't have a 2-run lead in the 9th and blow the game. But to blow it in the way they did, I mean, a pair of walks, start the inning, you hit a guy. That was only the 2nd hit of the inning, Milo, the grand slam. And you give up 6 runs in the inning.
Just a crooked number for the Gatemen. In the bottom of the 9th, the Mariners came into the frame up 4-2. Final score 8-4 here at Spillane Field. And the Mariners suffer their 2nd defeat of the season ahead of what's going to be the biggest game so far in the early going of this campaign tomorrow against YD. Mariners are huddling up down the right field line. Going to have to bounce back, have a short memory. That's the thing about baseball. You got to come back tomorrow and play another good brand of baseball. But wow, sometimes you're just in shock, and that's the case tonight. Once again, the final score, 8-4. Wareham takes it over Harwich. Now the Gatemen 2-5, and the Mariners are 5-2. Any last words, Luke?
It stings, but, you know, as high as the highs are, there's going to be lows. It's a 40-game summer season, and it does hurt that the winning streak of 5 ends there at 5 games, but 5-2 through your first 7, I'm sure Steve Englert would have taken that and ran with it. So now it's at the point where what can you do tomorrow against the best team in the Cape? Can you tie everything up at the top? That could be a bounce-back spot on its own. You don't have to be the sole leader. I mean, heck, it's the first 2 weeks of the summer. Nothing matters in regards to the playoffs. It's a big win for Wareham. You got to give them the credit, Milo. You kept mentioning that it was back and forth in a way where the Gatemen were lingering around. Harwich was the wire-to-wire winner of this game until that final slam from Nikolai. And, you know, you chalk it up to a good game, but the one thing Harwich hadn't really done all summer long was give guys free bases.
Yep.
And they did it at the worst time tonight in the 9th with a 2-run lead.
Unbelievable. Final score 8-4. The Gatemen came into the day with just 13 runs on the season. They score 8 tonight, and that just about does it for us here at Spillane Field. Once again, the Mariners fall to Wareham 8-4. For my partner Luke Brenneman and our producer Sawyer, I'm Milo Hoffman saying so long and enjoy your night.